What's up, party people? Welcome to Enter the Realm, episode 229, your Monday Night Realm Collectors podcast. It's our annual, I guess, Star Wars special. We have a special guest with us tonight. Let's do some intros. Coming up first, he's the glue that holds this R.O.C puzzle together. No matter how dark the Empire is. Dust Mites, how are you, sir?
Yo, what's up, everybody? How are you guys? I got my notes over here somewhere. You guys get ready for the notes tonight.
Oh, you have notes?
No, I don't have notes.
Did you write them on?
I know I'm gonna get pummeled here. So
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true.
I haven't heard.
I'm gonna save my piece and just move on.
Okay. Hey, speaking of saving his piece, fresh back from Sin City. Making his triumphant return to the mount here. Brian Brink, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? Running Spice in Sin City. It's not as easy as you'd think.
Yeah? You had a life before we knew you, right?
It's true.
Making his annual appearance on Enter the Realm. So brave of him to come to such a diverse platform here.
So brave.
So brave. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Bobby Skullface.
What's up, everybody?
I love how whatever setup Bobby has here, it literally looks like he's laying under his bed. Let's just run with that. He's laying under his bed. That's what it looks like. No. Let's just there it is.
I am not gonna be able to get to sleep tonight.
I had to hide for this one.
Gonna have to check under the beds here. Up next, the man that I might have tainted his entire thought process with some PLA filament this week.
Don't even get me started.
Let's see how deep and dark this new hole is for Tyler. What's up, buddy?
The hole looks mighty deep and mighty wide.
That's right. Would you say about 500 millimeters square?
It's about right.
That's a big unit right there.
About 1 foot 7 inches.
There you go. And rounding out the panel tonight, rocking the Empire hat. I dig it. Chan, what's up?
Thanks. And coming through the other side of the Christmas storm.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Yes, it is. It is almost over.
And how are you, Senator Crashbox? How are you today?
I am. Everything is coming up roses. I mean, the galaxy's in a great place. I see we've got a new moon here, so that's nice to see.
That's no moon.
The princess is out doing her stuff. Jimmy Smith.
It should be Senator Crashbox from Alder. Damn.
Yeah. So we are gonna have a spoiler-filled episode of Enter the Realm tonight, discussing episode 9, Star Wars. And thanks to Bobby for coming on to argue with us. We are very appreciative of that. We are going to do our usual opening segment that I like to call "What'd You Get?" Let's let the birthday plus one boy go first. Happy 1 day past your birthday.
Yay.
Oh, happy birthday, Dust.
29 and spry as a spring chicken.
Thanks, man.
Yes, I'm 21 all over again. I rejuvenated. I cloned myself.
Could you imagine?
I look great for 21.
Could you imagine it being 21 right now? Like in the body you're in right now, you'd be like, fuck.
Jesus. It'll be exactly how I felt when I was 21 the first time.
Okay.
Fuck. This is what I'm stuck with. Damn it. Let's see. I got a great gift from you guys. Been officially entered to the Doll Life Hot Toys Boba Fett.
Nice.
Deluxe Boba Fett.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. I cannot wait to have the actual time to put into it. I got a couple of days free this week, so maybe I could get into that. A couple of Christmas gifts here and there. Nothing crazy.
Your cat just walked in your background and laid down.
Oh, I thought maybe Wookie was showing her ass again. She likes to do that. Yeah, I got some, little tchotchke gifts. My buddy Glenn got me an awesome. He gave me the Rappin' Rodney 12-inch.
Nice.
Nothing beats a mint condition Rappin' Rodney 12-inch. Put on your wall. Record, that is. Excuse me.
Okay.
yeah, that's about it, man. Christmas was kind of light. I got a lot of gifts from my sister on that Sunday, and we discussed that already. So, but yeah, man, awesome time. That's it for me.
All right, Mr. Brink.
Yo.
But thank you guys, really.
Thank you, Dust. We were glad to turn you. That note was all me.
It's not done yet. It's only one.
That's how it starts.
You know what they say about Sith,
They only deal in absolutes.
right? And there's always two. So.
That too.
Brian, I know you were in Vegas. Did you go to any toy stores while you were in Vegas?
No, I was actually pretty much trapped in a house with old people for a week. Oof. Which isn't the best way to spend Vegas, but we did get out and have a good time. But I didn't go out, and I'm gonna rent a car next time.
You should listen to "Hey Baby, Let's Go to Vegas" by Faith Hill on repeat the entire time you're there.
Oh, dear God.
Just rent a car. Is that code for rent a escort?
Well, I'll rent a car. I'd also rent an escort.
Brian, I have 2 words for you: Uber.
Well, yeah, but the thing is they live in a gated community, and it gets to be a pain in the ass with the Uber stuff, and that's all.
Oh no, you just bang on the gate. Just bang on the gate and like, hey, my parents are in there. I need in, and I'm sure they'll be like, right away, sir. Let me open the gate to you, strange person. Is that not how? I've never been to a gated community.
Nah, it's fine.
I don't think the Limestone County Correctional Facility is considered a gated community, but there are people living there with a gate around it, and they just don't let you walk in either anymore.
But I did do some fun things. So I did. We went to a show. We usually go to a show when I'm out there. We went to the Rock Vault that is in the Hard Rock Cafe, which is basically members of old bands doing their thing. Basically, it's like tributes to older rock music stuff. It was great. It was fantastic. And I got to go to Top Golf, which is basically you go to a driving range that's got a lot of sparkly lights and fun games, and you drink a lot.
Was that the first time you've been to Top Golf?
It was.
They're littered all over the country now.
There's one near us. I've never been, but there's one near us.
It's a good time.
My company likes to use the Top Golf in Nashville as a corporate thing when we're down there. And it's fun. I just sit around and drink. I don't play. Fun times.
But I did pick up some things. I got that Buster Skywing behind me, which I actually picked up at Black Friday. Finally arrived. And as a Christmas gift, my dad likes to get me Lego, but this is a little crazy. He went and got me this thing.
Whoa!
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Saturn V.
Yeah.
Wait, 14 plus. Do you know that many people?
Something else.
That's the age. My bad.
All right. And they also got me like a wireless picture frame, which is kind of interesting. I messed around with it while I was there. I wanted to set it up for the show, but I didn't have time.
Wireless picture frame.
Yeah. So basically, you can have your family send photos to this frame whenever they.
Whoa, that could be dangerous.
So you could fuck with somebody with that. Like,
Yes.
Dude, you gotta give me the pass. Let me in, please.
All right.
that's incredible.
And
Dude, I need one of those in the bathroom, and the picture is always going to be It's going to be a picture of you on the toilet. Like or it's the person right before you. That would be even better. Every time the door opens and closes, it changes.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty neat.
Something else I picked up.
So basically, it's like Snapchat.
Yeah. During Big Bads, when they were giving away the whole store kind of thing earlier this year. I never opened these, but I opened them this weekend. I got the Artifacts Ray and Finn.
Oh, nice.
The who?
They basically they're just statues.
It's Kotobukiya.
Yeah, the 1/10.
And
Gotcha.
they had them for like 45% off. So I picked them up because
You'll buy anything.
I'm all about Ray and Finn. They're pretty cool.
All right.
I'm happy with how that turned out. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
What else?
That's it.
No other boxes?
It's not my birthday yet.
Okay, cool. Happy belated birthday to Mr. Skullface.
Thanks.
What did you get?
Since the last time I've been on, I got
Oh,
Masterpiece Dirge,
Christ.
SRAM
All right, we're going late tonight, guys. We're going late.
I did get this. So it's a funny story. I'll just tell this bit. I came home to a missed package shipping notice on my front door, and it was for 3 packages, and it was for Bobby Skullface. So I went to the post office the next day to do a pickup.
Your ID doesn't say Bobby Skullface.
It does not. So I went there and I said, I'm on 7, where I live. and they gave me the one, they gave me.
Oops, that's the second person today to almost fuck that up.
They gave me the one package and it was made out to Bobby Skullface. And I said, and then there's 2 others. So they went back and they came back and they were like, these 2 are for Robert, real last name. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, do you know him? And I was like, know him. Of course I know him. He's me. And but they didn't get the reference. So
I thought you were like, he is I and I and him.
No,
no.
I was like, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I'm just super excited that Brink just rattled off some hip hop lyrics.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was SH Fake Arts solo and Crate Luke, and that solo is the best 1/12 scale figure I've ever got in my life, ever in the history of ever.
This is old Han.
Yeah, it's
I
amazing.
mean, it's I will concur with, and Bobby got a good copy. Sometimes you get a wonky eye or whatever, but this one is Cash Money Records. It is great.
It looks like a Hot Toys. It looks like a Hot Toys. I mean, it's nuts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, I got tons of shit, man, but it's fine. All
right.
I got MP, Dirge, and Thrust, and since back in May.
Since you've been here. Okay, great. Awesome. All right. Tyler.
Nothing fun.
Santa didn't bring you anything cool?
No, I got all practical things, and I put a kid in braces this week, and paid in full for the cash discount. So,
what'd you sell? Like 2 pairs of shoes to do that?
No,
look at that. You guys are fancy.
Who knew?
Maybe
that a Nike addiction would pay for straight teeth one day.
I know.
Hey man, it's money in the bank.
That's right. It literally is.
Shorty, what you drank?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh no.
it is once again time. It is time to unroll the scroll.
Yeah.
Christmas edition. Chan, what'd you get?
I got too much stuff for Christmas this year. I feel spoiled this year for Christmas. I got more presents than even the kids for Christmas.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
I guess so, yeah. I got NECA Pan from Pan's Labyrinth and the quarter scale Donatello.
Oh, you got Donnie.
Yeah, finally.
Collection complete.
So is that all of them for you?
When's Marie coming?
Yeah, actually, it is all of them for me. Well, except for the foot soldier. I don't have foot soldier yet. Donnie Marie. You're silly. I got
And that's with Seltzer.
Right. I got the Lego Yoda, which I'm super excited about.
Dude, that thing creeps
Which one?
me the fuck out. I'm gonna be honest.
The giant creepy Yoda.
It is very creepy.
It's awesome. I love creepy though. I'm fine with that. I got the hyper real Darth Vader, which I wanted really bad because I collect Darth Vaders. So
Did you open it?
not yet. No,
Dude, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, that's surprisingly cool figure.
I'm super excited about it.
It's cool to the touch.
It's weird to the touch.
It's like a Tyson, but it's burnt in.
Gross. I don't know if I want to open it now.
No, you do. I mean, it is a really cool figure. It's not what you expect. I had an argument with a guy there. It's like soft goods. I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, it's as soft goods as any other Hasbro figure, but it's fucking weird rubber shit.
Yeah, soft latex.
Weird
Now I'm
rubber
nervous.
shit.
Now I'm like, I don't know if I want to open it.
But make sure you
Strange.
Chan, make sure you get the baby powder out before you touch it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's why I don't want any of those Fison things. They're freaking
That's what
out. They feel weird. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah, they get ready.
Yeah, just look it up. That's PHICEN. It could be a whole new collection for you.
No,
Do you like anatomically correct 6 scale
No,
figures with lifelike skin?
Mm-mm.
Well, I've got a deal for you. You can get 4 people underneath you by the end of the week. We can start selling Fison dolls on the street by Tuesday.
Anatomically correct. Maybe for my Instagram feed, but not for real life.
Right.
Don't forget to offer the flex pay.
That's right. Limited time. Sorry, Chan. We totally interrupted you there.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's fine. I'm not upset about it. I got a couple of books. I got one that's Japanese myths because I love
Ooh.
the Japanese culture. I got the artwork for Fallen Order because that game.
I did too.
Awesome. Did you really? Cool.
Yeah, for my birthday, I think, or Christmas, one of them.
And I got a Jim Henson comic book. It's the Tale of Sand. I don't know if you guys have. I don't know where it went. I had it right here.
Oh, we all know about sand.
It's called The Tale of Sand. It's supposedly like a screenplay that was lost by Jim Henson that they turned into a comic book. It looks pretty cool. I got a bunch of pops. I got Dio and Wicket in the large scale. I wanted the Wicket really bad for a long time. I know. I get it.
Wicked rhymes wicked. Sorry.
And
I gotta draw the line of pops.
I got Dr. Ian Malcolm from the Jurassic Park.
He's a sexy beast.
He is. And I got
Is that the old dude?
No.
no.
That's Mr. Jeffrey Goldblum. But the old guy, he can get it too. Don't worry.
John Hammond was his name.
I was just saying, that's how I feel like when I get out of this chair to go to the bathroom after 3 hours of podcasting.
Yeah.
So I walk to the bathroom.
He and I are kindred spirits. We're both always after the bone.
Whoa.
Spare
Big
no
things.
expense.
Big things.
And I got the Misho movie realization First Order Trooper. And to add to that mess up there, and which isn't a mess, it's not. And I got Naruto travel mug and Naruto regular mug.
Nice.
If you guys or anybody out there is missing any of that movie realization, the Samurai Star Wars, Bluefin is clearancing out a lot of them.
Oh, nice.
Directly on their website. I only know that because Mark Zuckerberg decided I needed that information. But here I am passing it on to you. So hopefully that advertising dollar goes pretty damn far. Yeah. It's the U.S. distributor of things of that nature.
Oh crap! Yeah, I got the.
There's more.
JD surprised me with the Ninja Turtles arcade one up.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh, nice. You guys literally have a home arcade.
I guess. So.
It's pretty dope. I love that room.
When's the skee ball? I'm sorry, the air hockey table coming.
That's coming as soon as we get the basement cleaned up.
I ordered a slushy machine. It's on its way.
Wait, there's a basement?
Yeah, you've never seen the basement. The basement's huge.
I didn't know there was a basement.
Is it finished?
No.
Who lived
These
down?
like
Who had lived in
chains
the
and
basement?
straps everywhere down there.
It's just
So do we want to get into that conversation right away, or are we going to wait that later?
Let's save that for the second hour.
How many doors are down there? How many
bump
doors?
those
How many more doors?
There's nope.
There's got to be more
I
doors.
can't,
There's
I'm not
hidden
telling
doors.
you. You have to
There's
just-
hidden doors. There's catacombs. There's everything in that place.
It
Honeycombs.
It feels kind of like catacombs down there. It's pretty
like
awesome.
a honeycomb hideout.
It's got like 12-foot ceilings in the basement. It's pretty awesome.
That sounds awesome. That house probably actually touches the third ring of hell as big as it is.
Yes.
And how deep it goes.
There's something evil going on in that
No,
place.
there's not.
Something wicked this way.
Mr. Marbles?
I mean, nuns used to live here, so it could be something evil. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. They were into some fucked up shit.
I like it here. I like it. Anyway, yeah, there was a bunch of little stuff, but I won't get into that. I already got into enough trouble with everything I already listed. So, and I got some stuffed animals, but that's a girl thing, so that's fine.
Bots in Disguise wants to know, is it the 4-player version?
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
the arcade.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
I actually played that at Walmart the other day. It's very hard by yourself, to be honest.
Well, the next time you guys come over, we can all play.
I hope it was on a riser because as tall as you are.
Oh yeah,
Chris,
it
you
was,
probably.
I just grabbed a chair from Home Goods and sat down. Yeah, tore it up.
Yeah, so that's it for me. Chris, what'd you get?
Oh hey, I got a mini fridge for the basement,
Ooh.
so we can keep the White Claw cold,
Clams in effect.
no
No
matter
big
what level of the house we're on. Yeah, I mean it's only 3. We only have 3 refrigerators.
Could
now.
I ask one thing? Was it a gift from Flakes because he doesn't want to go up and down the steps no more?
No, it's actually a gift from my wife. Funny story.
Is he on strike? Is he done?
Oh wow, he's been done. Funny story. My wife got me one last year, I believe. I might have shared this story, and she had it loaded with LaCroix at the time. It was one of those cool ones with like the see-through front panel and everything. And all of a sudden, I was downstairs and I literally thought somebody had fired a gun in the house, and a can of LaCroix had exploded, and the temperature gauge on the thing didn't work. You could not turn it down. And they didn't have any more. So, long story short, a year later, I got a fridge again. I got a couple of Star Wars books. I got, what else? Pretty light weed for me, actually.
Did that art book show up yet
What art book?
for the episode 9?
Bobby, did the art book show up?
March.
Oh.
Really? Okay, I got the visual dictionary for 8 and 9. They had the I didn't pick up the 8 one. And they had it was super cheap.
Do you love how they're different sizes?
No, it aggravates me.
How obnoxious is that?
I'm like, come on, you can do one more fucking book.
No, they changed it at Solo. Solos was short too. It's like,
I remember that, but
yeah,
it's
grief.
like, can we do a Kickstarter to get them to re-edit that
It's
book?
obnoxious. They're all like exactly the same size and format, and then Solo and 9 are shorter
and fatter.
Yeah.
Just the way I like them.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I did get into the 3D printer pretty heavy the past couple weeks. I've had finally have a place to set it up kind of permanently. It's down here in the basement, and I've been.
It sits on top of the fridge now. That's what you're waiting for.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Brian. It's perfect size. Now there's a table over here behind the couches, but I've been printing my ass off, and I printed a lightsaber. Really happy with the way it came out.
Is it your father's lightsaber?
Obi-Wan's lightsaber. So
Nice.
it's a whole bunch of pieces that snap together. It's a very well done kit. So yeah, just enjoying the hell out of that. Bought a shit ton. I've been to Home Depot twice this week to buy foam. I'm doing a huge project in foam. That is taking a ton of material. So I ordered a $75 router bit today. That's exciting, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's like a 3-inch.
What gauge?
Well, they don't do
Gauges.
gauges. It's a 1/8 bit that can go through 2-inch material. So
Does it bevel at the same time, or
does it bevel?
Yeah.
No, it lifts and separates like a good bustier.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So let's listen.
Segway.
I try to keep it entertaining, party people.
I thought it was supposed to lift and push. Like I thought that was. Never mind. Go ahead.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, mine works different, I guess. Tomato, right? So
I'm more of a fan of them pushed together than separated.
I am too.
I don't know why it seems creepy when you say it, Brink.
He's the mayor. He's the mayor of Titty City.
I don't know why.
He's the mayor of Titty City, ladies and gentlemen.
Jen and Chris talking about it seemed fine, and then all of a sudden it got strange.
I just think maybe my cup size is larger than yours, Chris. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe next time
we can separate. We'll
You
compare.
could just compare, yeah.
Listen, we can measure swords all you want. I mean, it's fine with me. We'll work it out one way or the other. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a new Star Wars movie out. And after the I don't know, the stink, I guess there was, or just in general around episode 8. We get episode 9 here, which I probably isn't everybody's cup of tea. I think some people really liked it, some people really didn't, some people tore it apart, what have you. But it's Star Wars, so let's talk about it. Let's just do. Everybody's seen the movie, right? I guess. Yeah.
Could I just get a out of 10 score from everybody? Just
Dan's not here, so ladies and gentlemen, my own personal thunder thief.
I just want to know the layout of the battlefield.
Okay, let's do that. And this is a true out of 10. There's no Joe KW fucking
No,
faceless
no.
number letters
No.
here. So, okay, Bobby, why don't you start us off here?
I give it a 5.5.
Okay. Brink.
I'm a 8.1 because I don't want to have a rookie score.
Okay. Dust.
This is funny. I put this on my Instagram the day I saw it. I saw it the day it came out, and it's funny, Bobby. It's the same. I didn't say anything in anything else in any other chat. I didn't say what it was. I just dropped this on Instagram after I watched it. It's just funny that it just happened. That was on the 19th of December. Yeah, 5.5.
Tyler.
6.5.
Ooh,
Chan.
low score for you.
I'm at like 8.5, man.
Okay. And after seeing it twice, my score's a 9. I'm a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. Apparently,
We got a couple scores in the chat real quick. Nida Ren, 6 of 10. 8 of 10 there. G Money is 6-10. Joe V, 7 out of 10. I'm not going to do it for everybody. So, Gita Articulated, 3 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Josh Fisher, 9-10. And Justin L, B+.
No race score.
Thanks for
Frogman, 7-10.
thanks for paying attention there.
John B, 8.5 out of 10. And then John, guys, okay, I can't. Okay, we get it.
So,
All right.
They're varied, you know. Like I think that it's I don't know. I think it's interesting on this. If you look at the 6 of us, the 3 of us, and Chan being the outlier of kind of my theory, but Dust, Tyler, and I all really enjoyed Last Jedi, and our score for this is different. And Chris and Brink did not enjoy Last Jedi, and their score is higher. And I find that to be somewhat consistent.
So, you know what else I noticed about the 3 people with the low scores? They're the 3 people on the panel that read spoilers.
That's such a bullshit theory. I read the same spoilers for Last Jedi. I read the same spoilers for Force Awakens. I love Last Jedi, and I really like Force Awakens.
With me, I didn't love or hate it. Didn't love it, didn't hate it.
This one?
I had issues with it, things that I didn't like, the pacing of the movie. And I mean, we could talk later, talk after it, but there was just little things that irked me. It felt too safe. The movie was just too fucking safe.
I agree.
Safe for everything. Let's sprinkle this, sprinkle that, kill this one, bring him back. Oh, race is mine. He's back again.
It's just I feel like it's very safe and it caters to
everybody.
The original trilogy crowd specifically, though, I feel like, which is cool, but like I have an original trilogy that's great and will always be great. I'm
an original trilogy guy too, but it didn't really cater to me.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, this is all spoilers. Like Chewie getting a medal, and like, you know, everything.
Yeah, it's too much.
Payoff moments for the original trilogy characters.
Cheese.
Well, everybody knows we're doing spoilers here, so it's no big deal.
And by the way, Rotten Tomatoes stands at 54% from the critics, 86% from the audience.
Yep. It's so funny. It's like it's so split that way. And I don't know what the standing is for Last Jedi now, but Last Jedi initially had high critic scores, and the audience scores was the first one to falter, but the critic scores were high.
I don't know. I was hoping for something new. I feel like they played this very safe, and I don't think it really did anything to push the mythos of Star Wars forward.
Yeah, exactly. It seemed like they painted themselves in a corner and they had to get out.
But it was the end. It wasn't supposed to. Come on, man.
No, I'm talking.
I don't know what.
It seems like the Emperor was an afterthought.
Oh, yeah.
Do
I
you
heard
think
it was added until February?
Yeah, I heard that.
Wow. I didn't hear that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It makes sense though, considering how they shoehorned it in.
Yeah, I just. But anyway, I don't want to. We can go through the plot. I think that was what we were going to go through the whole movie.
And Bobby, just as FYI, Last Jedi is 91% critic and
See,
43% audience.
See, it's like it's the exact inverse, and I could sit on a soapbox for hours and tell you why those two scores are the way they are. But
Yeah, obviously Disney stopped threatening the critics with stuff. So that's
Wait,
why they're
Matt-
allowed to.
right, that must be what it is.
Shout out to Deluxe in the chat. He said, cried when Chewie got his medal. He deserved it. Didn't he get it in the Star Wars Holiday Special?
He did. He also got it on the MTV
Yeah.
Awards, I think.
That's twice.
But anyway, we can continue.
So Brink was nice enough to put together this bullet point kind of lay of the land, talking about planets and things that happen. And
Did he illustrate it? Did he illustrate it for us?
He
I'm
made
sorry,
he
no.
made flip books actually.
He
illustrated it with flip books.
I still got the jet lag dust. Sorry, I couldn't deliver.
Damn it.
So I learned something new here after we get the very wide open crawl that just leaves nothing in the imagination. We get Kylo and Mustafar.
Yes.
I did not realize that was the planet he was on.
Yeah.
I didn't either until the visual dictionary.
Oh, okay. I haven't had a chance to go all the way through it. So he gets the Bobby the MacGuffin, right? But
One of the
MacGuffin.
MacGuffins. One of the many MacGuffins.
the
But yeah,
mini MacGuffins.
the
he-
Wayfinder.
You didn't. Yeah. The what the fuck is the Wayfinder?
This is
You
gonna
could have named it anything in the world.
Well, they couldn't-
they couldn't call it a
Make it
GPS.
sound good. Make
It,
it
no,
sound.
it
They
finds the
couldn't call
way.
it a GPS.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, see,
The
this is
ancient-
And did you see the way they
Okay.
put the little wires in it and shit? Oh God.
no,
Fucking
but
killed me.
The
this
Google
is-
cron is what
that's
it was.
one of the things that I think this time, like being deep into the spoilers, there were things in the spoilers that I thought would have made this movie much better that didn't make it. Like the fact that there's two of them, and like I remember reading the spoilers where it was like there was one for Sidious, one for Vader.
Yeah,
so
that's
they
why.
could always find each other, always communicate. And
Oh.
then-
That's why the one on Mustafar is there because that was
Yeah,
Vader.
that makes sense. Why didn't they add that little tidbit? Because it would have made sense.
And
Would've made
there's
more
this whole sequence that he went to like the 8-legged frog monster sitting on a giant baby pig head. That like Kylo went to that creature, and that creature told him where the Wayfinder was on Mustafar. Not that I needed any of that shit, honestly, but that was all part of the story that they cut off. And there's a picture of that frog monster sitting on the giant baby pig head out there, and it's I'm happy it didn't make the film. To be fair, it looks goofy as shit, but whatever. Yeah, but Mustafar, it was foresty. I like that. Like, you know, when we think of Star Wars worlds, we kind of think of them having like one environment throughout the entire planet. You know, so, like, it was nice
It's got
to see that.
lava entries.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you know, it's
Yes.
nice to see that
Yes.
Mustafar has a little variety on it.
Ice,
Like,
lava, sand, and trees.
yeah, you know, like Tatooine is like all sand, and this one is all forest, and
Oh,
it was
and the
nice to
water
see a
one.
little variety. I like
Kamino's
that.
the all water.
I know we're getting on with it, but like that was the whole one of the major things that really turned me off was like it just everything in the beginning was too fast, unexplained, boom, 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 like top layered.
And I think those guys that Kylo kills on that are supposed to be like Sith cultists, which are supposed to be tied to the Sith cultists that are later on in the Sith temple. That's kind of cool to me conceptually, but you know, like you said, they don't really spend too much time on that.
I
'Cause
needed the
there's
crib
there's so much plot in this that they have to get out. So I mean, I get it, but
I feel like we started this movie with a montage scene.
it does move. It does move very fast. It moves fast. This whole movie moves fast. But so does Force Awakens. It might just be JJ style. Like they both are fast moving Star Wars films.
I did like them showing off Kylo having some saber moves, though. Yeah, it's some
Yeah.
interesting moves in that. It was good to see him just kind of do that without struggling too bit.
I kind of enjoyed his character this time around, big time.
Yeah, I could have used a lot more Kylo in this movie, but yeah.
So after he gets the Sith holocron, I mean the Wayfinder,
That would have. Why couldn't they just?
because it was in the ancient Jedi texts. Dust. You can't just rewrite that shit.
Wayfinder.
Jesus. So Kylo goes straight to
Called it
Exegol.
Johnson Rod.
Yeah, to find the Emperor, who he finds, and let's talk a little bit about that. He sees the Snokes,
The Snokes.
the Snokes and the
test tube Snokes.
test tube Snokes, and he tells
Sea
Kylo that he
monkeys.
needs to kill the scavenger. So, what do you guys think about that?
I liked the boy. I am every voice you have ever heard inside your head. I like that bit. I liked that they gave a bit of an explanation to Snoke. You know, I don't know if it needed it, but I know people wanted it. So it wasn't like a beat you over the head explanation. It was just like there's a shot of him making, you know, these whatever they are, and Snoke was one of them, and I dug that as opposed to like, and sit down, Kylo, I explained Snoke to you in about 15 years ago. You see, you know what I mean. I wouldn't have been interested in that.
But they wrap it up in kind of one line, right?
Mhm,
It's like why does the Emperor exist and all this other stuff, and it's just like the dark side of the Force is a pathway to abilities some consider unnatural.
Consider to be unnatural.
And that reminds you of the whole conversation he had with Anakin and
Yeah.
blah blah. And
I found the whole thing to be way too dark.
That whole everything in
Yeah,
I couldn't make sense of a lot of what I was seeing. It's not so much there, but like at the end of during the fight sequences at the end, I couldn't really, I felt like an old man. I was like, what the
like would it kill you to turn on a light or throw a torch on a wall? Like
Yeah.
like the settings looked cool. Like that was saying like I wanted to see more of it. Like the giant statues. Like
put some RGB strips behind the Snoke's, you know.
Yeah, just
cloning
plug them
bubble.
into your USB in the back of your TV. So
Now-
there's one shot in there that it kind of it cracks me up. So they the first time you see the Emperor's face, it zooms in, like it pops in closer on his face, and it's like you can see his black lipstick. And it's a very ridiculous shot. I don't know why they took the time to like, let's get a close up shot of his lips.
I like
very odd choice.
I like the irisless look of him,
Mm.
like that kind of like he was like kind of in this limbo state of life. I dug that.
I want to ask you guys, specifically those who dug into the spoilers, was there any explanation in there worded that this is the Emperor that we saw supposedly die, or is this a clone of him, or what's the deal?
And they went through stages. So one of the initial leaks kind of early on was that Matt Smith was playing a Knight of Ren, and that the Sith spirit was kind of tied to the physical world. Like the Jedi spirit can ascend, and the Sith spirit is kind of always tied to the physical world, like the Sith Lord. You know, that we've never really seen the death of a Sith master other than the Emperor, right? And he basically possesses Matt Smith, one of the Knights of Ren, who, and the other reason why he can do it is because they're like on the dark side of the spectrum, so to speak. And then Kylo and the Knights of Ren were like going after him. And that's who they were going after. It was like the Emperor in possession of this rogue Knight of Ren, played by Matt Smith. And Matt Smith, it seemed like everything seems like he was tied to this movie. And then I think just my own opinion, I'm just shitting or pissing in the wind, but like, I think they just called Ian Dearman and were like, look, can you do this? And he's like, I suppose I can. And then he came in and he did it all over, and they just took Matt Smith out of it, is my guess.
One thing I do like about this opening sequence, though, is Kylo goes in there like, all right, fuck you, I'm killing you too, because he wants it all. And I really like them showing that he still has that ambition left over from Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
But
I think that he wants to, like, I think that they should have continued him on that trajectory of like, I want the Sith gone. I don't want anything tied to this old shit. I want to move forward. I think that's the voice of Kylo, is, you know, time to let old things die.
it was funny after the second time I saw it, though. I was like, why didn't the Emperor just let Kylo strike him down and then take his body?
Yeah.
And that would have been the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I think he's got a vendetta against the Skywalkers due to what Anakin did to him. Tyler, you bring up a good point. I was kind of curious, how many times have we all seen it?
Just the once.
I've seen it twice in the theater.
Twice.
Once.
Twice.
I did 3 times.
And it's the only Star Wars film that has released and a week has gone by, and I've only seen it once.
I got a good copy.
99. Since 99.
You've been so busy, Bobby.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah, it hasn't
The
been
holidays.
because of that.
Nah, you're just waiting on Joe to get his shit.
They've all come out around this time, you know, with the exception of Solo, you know, so of the Disney ones anyway.
I will say, after seeing it a second time, there was things I did enjoy a little bit more.
same.
Mhm.
And I
I've
don't
heard a
know
lot
if
of people say that.
I don't know if it's just the fact that I wanted to like it a little bit more.
There's
And-
so much to look. I mean, there's so much to look at. It's like you don't know where to look, and so many things to catch. I think you can watch it a dozen times.
And I want to go on record. I don't hate this. Like I don't like I can only not enjoy Star Wars so much. You know, it's just it's just like and I'm hesitant because I don't want to bash it because I feel like there's enough of that energy on YouTube that I don't really want to contribute to that. And my content will continue to be positive in regards to Star Wars. But you know, if we're gonna talk about this movie, I have some real criticisms in regard to it. I think that it is my least favorite of the three, and of the the 3, 7, 8, 9, and I just think it's kind of clunky, you know, and I
clunky,
and I want to see it again. You know, I want to see it again, but I haven't been in any hurry to see it.
Fair enough. So moving on to our next scene is the aptly described ice planet by our spice runner, Mr. Brian Brink.
I don't know.
This is where we see the gang is almost all together, doing space adventures, going to talk to dudes about spies and hooking up droids. I don't know why they couldn't just write some shit down and pass it over. I don't know.
They got Wi-Fi.
Maybe that's not. Yeah, can you beam that to me, please? Why do I hardline?
Yeah.
And then there's some awesome some awesome flying by a hell of a pilot.
I was gonna say, yeah,
of a pilot. Yeah,
I was gonna say they don't have Wi-Fi, and guess what? They can fly now.
So I'm good with that whole sequence.
Yeah, I thought that was a good bit. And the light speed skipping, that was awesome to see that.
It was pretty cool.
It seems very dangerous.
Now,
I like the Chewie's face when Poe asks him, "How thick do you think that ice was?" Chewie's eyes get all big.
So
did you guys know that Mark Hamill did that alien's voice too? The green
Yeah,
guy
I
that
saw
got his
that.
head.
Oh, you
head
mean the
taken
alien
off.
that we saw once?
Yeah, we saw him once in his head the second time.
And his name is Bulio.
And you can buy a life-size cardboard cutout of that character right now on the internet.
Really?
Hey, Robert. Bobby needs. I'm
Shut up.
I'm gonna send you the link.
Shut up.
They have all the B-level characters from this movie as cardboard life-size cutout.
So Mandalore in the chat brings up something I want to bring up. These TIE fighters had hyperdrives, which is not something.
Yes, that's a good point. I noticed that as well. I said that to Laura.
And by this time, do all First Order ships have the hyperspeed tracking? Because they were tracking them through light speed.
Yes,
it would make sense.
And is that why they did the skipping? Then
Yeah.
I figured they were trying to get away from them.
Which I dug all that. That was like this evolution of warfare, you know, like
which isn't something we've seen. I mean, I read a little bit about this online and watched some YouTube videos about the advances in technology. You know, there hadn't been many from what we've seen. It was nice to hear stuff mentioned. You know, the different weapons that they have on the ships now. And, things of that nature.
I didn't like the light speed skipping.
No.
I think odds are like you don't know where you're going, so you're
never tell me the odds.
You're gonna hit a wall,
at
some point, and that'll be the end of you.
You gotta trust in your skills, Tyler.
You gotta take those chances.
Or a big claw monster.
Or Finn's force sensitive now. So, wait, did I give that away? So we're back at the base, right? Rey is training. There's rocks everywhere. She's sitting Indian style, and she found her clothes from episode 7 because she's wearing them again. And Leia is training her, which is, I guess, kind of surprising to the layman that's happening.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And she runs an obstacle course montage.
Capture the flag.
With that scene, she was getting frustrated because wasn't Leia telling her trying to channel the other Jedis? You know,
yes,
and she couldn't do it. She got super frustrated, which reminded me of like Luke when he was younger with Yoda getting frustrated.
Well, you know, and I thought it was a little bit of nice foreshadowing that she completely loses her shit, and drops a log on the BB-8 and all that ensues. I thought that was really telling as to the direction that character leans in this movie, not necessarily gets to.
And not that it bothered me and I'm good with it, but I just want to point out, because one of my issues with this movie is how much I feel like they tried to cater to the Twitter fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this whole sequence is largely built around the nonsensical Ray is a Mary Sue argument. And there are all the people that have been like, we're not getting enough training. She's just too overpowered, and and they're like, oh, okay, well, here she is training. She's been spending all this time training. She's doing some more training. Will you please stop using that hashtag now?
And look, let's talk about training. Luke Skywalker spent a week in the fucking swamp with a frog guy.
None of them completed their training. None of them.
I mean, none of them. And I think the taste of people's mouth is, well, I remember seeing when, episode 2 and 3, they had training centers. That shit doesn't exist anymore. And people have to get it through their fucking head.
There's also that element of them being of this chosen bloodline. Right. So like there's this natural gift and talent. So the people that make that argument usually fall back upon that argument and say you don't need to see them train because they're naturally gifted.
You don't need to see them train.
You don't need to see Rey train now either because she comes from a bloodline legacy also. So they could use, you know what I mean? They could do the same thing there. But I really feel like that was one of the first pandering. I think that there's 2 types of pandering things done in this movie, and one of them is to the Twitter folks, and this is one of those types. But I'm good with it. I like that that Leia took over the training, that she kind of stepped back into that Jedi-esque role, and it gives her I think a larger purpose in this movie than perhaps she's had in the previous 2. But it's I like that. I like that whole sequence.
So we learned that Palpatine is real, and refresh me, is that the radio broadcast comes across? It's on all channels.
No, I believe it's from that data tape that R2 downloaded.
Okay, yeah. So that's right. It's from the spy.
His iTunes list.
So he's on Exegol.
he had his aux cord.
That's right.
Dude, there's not enough of them out there.
I made an aux cord reference today, actually. He's on Exegol creating the final. Say it, Bobby.
The final order.
Oh God, that's so cheesy.
Rey said she knows how to find the Wayfinder from Luke's diary. She's gonna follow his footsteps. So then they go to. I'm reading Brink's notes here, and the word is Pasana, but I swear it said Pasadena. I'm like, why did they go to Pasadena? What is it?
If they went to Pasadena, it'd be a totally different type of Star Wars film.
The Rose Bowl.
Exactly.
So
Pasadena, Maryland. Anyway.
The adventure begins. This is the in the background. You almost hear
So let me ask that, because that's been tossed around a lot, right? That it's Indiana Jones. Is that bothersome to anybody that it has like
absolutely not?
Yeah, me neither.
I love it. I love it. I'm just making an observation.
Yeah. No, I'm just raising the question because it has been. I have seen it out there as a criticism a lot.
Yeah, Bobby, I know you haven't really studied the Indiana Jones films, but the dagger scene is basically where it kind of really is like, okay, I get it. But we'll get to that later in the movie, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So there's a party going on, right? There's a party going on right here.
Matrix style.
The White Claw is flowing. There's creatures I've never seen before. You'd think they would have grabbed some sort of colorful cloth and covered themselves like everyone else there. But no, they're hanging out with a fucking Wookiee while the First Order heavy gunners are about. Of course, there's a friendly face in the coolest vehicle maybe in the history of Star Wars. It's literally a tank tread that they're inside of. Mm-hmm. I need more information about that. So good old General Lando Calrissian cracks open a Colt 45 for each and every one of you out there.
Still pushing up on Leia.
Oh man,
yeah. And I just want to say,
send her my love.
Send her my love.
3PO really shines on this planet in this segment. It's just.
Is that a double entendre?
Oh yeah.
I like that at one point they're staring at him because he said something dumb and he just starts looking the other way.
Great. 3PO is my favorite character in this movie. I love him in this movie.
And when I watched it again yesterday, I was like, okay, is he looking over there because he thinks they're looking at something, or is he just like, does he get it?
Yeah,
that was funny.
Little Easter egg. He says it's a celebration that happens every 42 years.
Right.
Just so happens to be 42 years.
It just so happens to be 42 years, which is a reference to 42 years. Was it 42 years ago when episode 4 came out?
Yep.
Was that sound about right?
Yeah.
So, the little girl, I'm assuming the
pig girl.
Yeah. Hey, listen. We
They
can
have
call
pig
people
noses.
lots of things. She gives Ray a necklace, which is only a device that they can find them on there using what Brink likes to call. Excuse me, let me read it correct. Force Skype.
That's from Adam. That's from Adam from Nerd Rage.
Yeah, First Order finds them via necklace from Force Skype. So. Brick, your notes are cracking me up. It says they find. So there's a okay. So then they go in the desert. They're trying to get to this ship, and here come the jump troopers? Is that what they're calling these cats?
On the sand snowmobiles.
On the sand snowmobile. They got snow job from GI Joe's snowmobiles. And put seesaws on the back of them.
All these years we're flying with speeder bikes. Now we have treads and sand. I don't know.
So two things. One, that chase scene I love. After seeing it for the third time, I've just really come to appreciate it. It's done really, really well. And also, I like the fact that this is one of the first planets that we're visiting in this movie, and the First Order is everywhere. So in the previous movies, all we've seen is the First Order, on their home planet, and also with I was going to say the Retaliation, but what the fuck are they called?
The Resistance.
The Resistance, yes, the Resistance fighting them, right? But now we get to see that they are pervasive throughout the whole galaxy, and that's a big deal.
The impact that they're having on everything there. So, there's the stink about they fly now, and then Poe says they fly now, which, correct me if I'm wrong here. Somewhere in the Marvel comics, he encountered these people or the flying people. So it was more of a, they fly now, not I'm surprised. I didn't understand.
There's two ways to look at it. There's one way to say, yes, he saw him in the Marvel comics, so he's affirming that they do fly now. And the other way to see it is nobody gives a shit about the comics at the fucking Disney Lucasfilm studios where they're fucking making $1 million movies that are going to make hundreds of millions of dollars, and they don't give a shit what happened in 34 of Star Wars issue 2, volume 3 from the fucking Marvel stands.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I know. I get fucking worked up when people are like, "Well, what does JJ even read comics?" Like, no, probably not, because he's probably got shit to do.
I try to pencil out at least 20 minutes every day to read a Star Wars comic book. Keep me up to date. So they go in the quicksand, and down to the wormhole. They find
we get Finn's. Ray, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah, I gotta tell you something.
And then he never tells her anything throughout the whole movie. He
that first starts. So they go down the quicksand. It's almost just like Indiana Jones.
Dude,
quicksand! Fucking quicksand!
Oh, dude, what do you guys think of Ray igniting her lightsaber and then Fope turning on the flashlight?
I thought it was dumb.
I mean, that was cheesy, but I thought it was good.
Shout out to Marvel movies.
I think it was good.
Yeah. It
doesn't bother me.
But I will say that she did hand her saber to.
I love that dog.
She handed her saber to Finn when they encounter this worm monster, and she shows her powers of restoration, I guess we'll call it, like the little Baba Yaga does.
Yeah.
And the snake monster's like, "Oh, cool! You healed me. So since I'm balanced with the Force, I will wander away." Which opens up.
Let me let you out here.
Yeah, and they find the knife on Willie Lump, whatever that guy's name is. And
One-Eyed Willie. It's One-Eyed Willie.
See, that's what I thought does. Like when Brink was saying, it reminded me of the Goonies.
It had a few Goonies moments.
Mm-hmm.
So and she touches that blade and says, this has done horrible things or something like that. Mm. So she's starting to put some stuff together. She did, and then we skipped over the fact that she says, "I've seen that ship before." When my parents,
it's the same thing people say when they check my search history. Yeah. It's done horrible things.
Why was the ship just sitting there?
Because
all these years it's just sitting there. Nobody, no Jawa scavenged it. Nobody.
So apparently the people on that planet are very superstitious, and that's why they didn't touch it.
But also, like Lando and Luke,
where was that information?
To be looking for it.
Where was that information?
They found it. They said they had found it, but they didn't find what they were looking for in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, Lando's got a harem to run, Bobby. He doesn't have time. He doesn't have time for whatever. It
As
is.
lame as Lando was, I loved seeing him in this.
So in the leaks, right? In the leaks, Lando's supposed to go into this whole soliloquy or a monologue rather of how they were looking for it, right? They were looking for the dagger, and his daughter was stolen from him by the First Order, and that's what made Luke abandon the mission and go back to training or some shit. And that's what made Lando stop pushing the issue, was that his daughter was stolen, and then he went looking for his daughter instead.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that
stayed.
kind of makes sense with some shit at the end.
Yes, and I
Right.
was very surprised they didn't go forward with that.
Yeah.
Man, they gotta fill up this Disney Plus roster.
It would have made so much more sense with that.
But I like the whole Pisana sequence. Like it's one of my two favorite sequences in this movie: the Pisana sequence, and then the Death Star wreckage sequence later on. Like those are my two favorites.
So we find out that C-3PO won't translate the writing on the dagger because it's Sith, and there's been a Senate mandate. Now, was that done on purpose by the Senate to make sure that the Sith were never uncovered? Do you think?
Maybe
JJ needed to stretch another 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's possible.
Too much Sith talking.
So we
Sith talking.
Rey feels Kylo's presence, goes out and chops the wing off his TIE fighter, which I will say, after seeing The Mandalorian and seeing this, those things are very well built for survival in crashes on land.
Yeah, they do terrestrially.
They roll for a very long time.
When she flipped and broke the wing at that one point, it reminded me of the old original Star Wars toy where the wings popped off.
Yes.
Remember that old toy?
Yeah.
I just reminded me of that toy like that.
That TIE fighter looked a
things.
lot like that, or Kylo's TIE fighter looked a lot like Vader's TIE fighter too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all sorts of little nods. So right here is when we find out, that how powerful Rey truly is, as she, her and Kylo are fighting over this ship, and she shoots lightning out of her hand.
So the reason why she's right. So I think while they're trying to get that other ship to run, they send Chewie out to go look for her because it's time to go, and he gets captured by the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, where was that fight scene?
Curses.
I wanted to see the Wookiee take on the Knights of Ren.
Knights of Ren are they're so intimidating. They scare Wookiees.
I would have liked anything more with the Knights of Ren.
And what's up with
I would too.
the boy band flyover scene with the drone?
Oh yeah, you just in the background you heard. You're all I ever wanted.
Oh, that doesn't. You know what? Tyler mentioned that when we spoke about it. It doesn't bother me. I think it looks cool.
No,
want
shot.
no. I think what it is it's like, yeah. Well, no, I was gonna make a Boys to Ren joke.
I like that. Okay.
But
Nice.
yeah, but I don't know. It kind of reminded like there's that Metallica video, like when they're up on like the rock, and isn't one of the old Creed videos look like that too?
Oh,
like,
sure.
I just think it's a poor shot. Like I don't think it's done well either.
I think it's cool. I think it's a cool and and imposing shot. And to me, like when I saw it, I was like, man, it looks like they're getting ready to do some shit. They don't, but it looks like they're going to.
Yep.
Yeah, they should have fought a Wookiee.
It's the best cosplay I've seen in a long time. So the ship blows up. Chewie's on board. And
Chewie.
Poe says,
wait,
hold on.
Her scream of Chewie is the best acting. That not to say that she's a bad actress, because I don't think that she is, but I felt that. Like I was like, holy shit! Like I believed her. I believed her 100% that she felt that kind of regret.
I love the way Kylo brought out the darkener with that.
Yeah.
The Force lightning, yeah.
Bobby, I'm glad you said that, because even after seeing multiple times and I know what the outcome is for Chewie, like I still got choked up because she did that scene so well.
Yeah.
And I started crying and did not stop through the rest of the movie. Like that made me, the kid sitting next to me, I think I scared the shit out of him, because when I thought Chewie was dead, I was like, no. Ah. I was like genuinely not happy at that moment. I was very distraught. I was very unhappy.
Yeah.
So around this time, Poe says he knows a guy that can read C-3PO's memory. And then it comes out that there's some funny lines between Finn and Poe about how do you know how to do all this stuff? It's like he's hot wiring speeders and shit.
Yeah, but basically 3PO, what does he say? He goes, well, the only way I have it in my memory, and the only way to do that is, and then he's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, it's like busting my head open. So they go to Kijimi, not Kimji. Kijimi. Who's naming these planets? And where do these planets keep coming from? They just keep adding planets. Are they on the map? I don't know.
They will be now.
All right. So the First Order's there, knocking on doors, doing raids. I don't know what they're doing. First Order shit.
John Williams is a bartender.
Is he now?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That's why they zoomed in on him.
I like the guy. There's an alien in that bar scene that, as we would say in the South, wider than all outside. It's a big unit. I don't know what he is or who he is. But damn it, I need a Black Series figure. So Zori finds them, and this is Kerry Russell getting paid.
The Rocketeer.
You okay, Chris?
I think
All right, let's go back to the Rocketeer because that's all I saw when I saw that chick. I was like, Rocketeer, baby.
They probably could have found someone to pay less for that role.
That's what I'm saying.
She never takes a helmet off either.
She shows her eyes.
She shows her eyes.
Yeah.
Watching you.
So she obviously is pretty shitty because Poe apparently left her holding the bag on some things when he decided to go be a good guy, and not run Spice anymore. Which if you don't
You were a Spice
know,
runner? You were a Spice runner?
Spice is
Well, you were a stormtrooper.
I like that. I like that little exchange.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
What? No, Brian just liked because he said I can do this all day. So they go to hook the droid up. They go meet Babu Frick, who it's funny you can't understand the word he's saying, but by the end of it, you can kind of
Jedi mindset.
Kind of understand what he's saying.
He said she did more than Captain Phasma did in 2 films, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they hook C-3PO up to basically a machine that's gonna make him wipe his memory and read the Sith holocron stuff. And this is the teaser you get where I'm taking one last look at my friend.
They shouldn't have put that. They shouldn't have put that in the trailer. They shouldn't have put that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, and Kenny, Babu Frick. Babu Frick to me is the most endearing new character in this movie that was introduced. Like, I thought he was awesome.
So there's
Droid mind blank.
They get the Chuck E. Cheese coin that lets them go on any it's unlimited skee ball, unlimited pizza, breadsticks, and salad.
Wow.
Soda is extra though, but it allows them one free trip to any First Order ship, which makes no goddamn sense.
Nothing. Like
I mean that
all
makes,
that shit.
And this antiquated ship magically has this slot that it fits in.
Well, right. But also too, we get a nice exchange between Zori and Poe there, I believe. We have like one of those Rose line moments.
Like when you get to see your eyes.
Yes. So Rose had that one line at the end of Last Jedi. Well, here it's like, what is it? The First Order, like they get you down by making you think you're alone or something like that. So I think it's one of those nice.
I feel like
moment lines.
I don't feel like it hits like the Rose one though, because
we only see her eyes. Yeah. I know.
Well, I mean that, and the fact that I think there is something to that though. Like there's not a whole lot of performance necessarily, but it's also like that Rose thing just came after like a sacrifice in a battle and a whole bit. Like this kind of comes after like some pushing and shoving.
Well, I think from a Poe perspective, who I've been very critical of since the last movie, like he's actually he's found someone he can talk to that he knows, right? So he's kind of letting his heart pour out a little more because he's feeling kind of dejected. He's like, dude, we were down and out and no one came to help us last time and stuff like that. So I thought that was a nice little beat that they added in there.
I feel that scene is like the first time we can take a breath in this movie too.
Yeah, when they're like sitting on the rooftop.
Yeah, like I feel like could have used one before that too. But I actually like that scene a lot.
So they get on the ship and Rey ends up in Kylo's.
Like the only other thing I was going to add to this was like I know everybody like kind of equates the First Order to like Nazis, but like the going door to door and like smashing into people's houses, like looking for the Jews if they were the Nazis. I kind of like that idea.
And
who would they be looking for in that scenario then? Jedi or Resistance sympathizers or?
Well, they're looking for somebody.
Well, and again, right? Because they're not there tracking this team. They're just there being fucking assholes, right? So that's another big key,
Hey,
I think. To
hey,
the
they're
First
just
Order.
doing their job,
And
okay?
they're doing something though. They gotta have some purpose there because because Kylo's there too. The Knights are there.
I thought they went there to find them. I thought that they get some fucking
Yeah.
Well, maybe
information
later,
or some shit.
but so when they got C-3PO's head cracked open, like Zori says something like, "Oh, the night raids are about to start soon." Like this is a regular occurrence.
Yeah. I know
So-
what you're saying.
I'm
I
kind
wonder
of
what are they looking for?
maybe they're stealing kids or something from there because she mentions that in there as well. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe they are looking for milk and sugar. Who knows?
Oh, maybe it is kids. Okay.
Oh,
Jeez, that's a deep
yeah.
dive.
Also, we
Yeah.
find out C-3PO lets it spill that the artifact they're looking for is on Endor or the moon of Endor or something like that.
Right, from the Death Star crashing, which that's so the Ewok action takes place on a moon of Endor. Is that correct, or is
So
Endor
I think-
proper?
I think it's Endor proper.
Oh, okay.
So like the forest moon of Endor is not the planet Endor.
Right.
Okay, but this is another. Is it
So
on Endor
I-
proper where they go?
What I'm saying is that in Return of the Jedi, that's a moon of Endor, and in this movie, it's Endor.
Okay, gotcha.
And,
Let's see, where are we
Well,
at?
so Chris, the
Yo.
reason why they go to Kylo's ship is because Rey senses Chewie is on there.
Right, Rey senses Chewie is there, so they go on his ship.
So within like
Which
what,
is-
10 minutes, right?
Which
Rey
I mean-
goes. Go ahead, Tyler. I think.
Well, no, I was just gonna say it's funny that she can sense him there, but she can't sense him after she thinks that she blew up the first ship too. Like that kind of bothered me too.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that is a little good. It's definitely proximity, but it's cool. But it's not a big deal to me. That I'm good with that.
Well, I mean, in theory, he'd be further away in the Star Destroyer than he would be in the transport, right? Like, but she can still sense him.
Yeah. Well, in theory, who knows when that transport took off?
Then how are we gonna make Chan cry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That was the
Chan,
whole point. That was the
Chan,
whole
tell-
point.
tell us about that. Were you relieved?
What, the Chewie was fine? Of course. Absolutely. I cried even harder
Really
when I
think
knew
they
he
were
was
gonna kill
fine.
Chewie? Come on.
Like I was just yeah, but come on, look at everybody else.
Be
is
rioting
dead
in the
at this
streets.
point.
Well, you can always put somebody in the dog suit. That's what it comes down to. It's like,
Speaking of which, Chan, what'd you think of Chewie being naked in this movie?
I didn't like it. I found it very awkward to look at.
It was a little strange.
Yeah.
Just a touch of off-putting.
Yeah.
But
I didn't care for it one bit.
I knew it was gonna stay that way. Like
Right.
it can't. That's
No.
it's-
Because it's too strange.
right. And it's literally Chewie's identifying mark. Other than that, he's just a Wookiee. Like
Yeah.
not to be weird, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So Mandalore says that the name of this Endor moon is Kef Bir.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you, from the Visual Dictionary.
Well, I mean, do I really need to have a dictionary to go see this movie? And that's what killed me. It's like if I didn't do all of my
Research.
all my research prior, I
didn't.
wouldn't know how to connect the dots. And that's I think that was
Literally.
one of the major points that really pissed me off about this movie.
Literally every Star Wars movie since Episode 1 has had a visual dictionary that told you a lot more shit than what they told you on the screen.
Oh, so I
Yeah, but-
guess is Kef Bir the planet that they're on in Return of the Jedi, or the moon that they're on in Return of the Jedi? Like, is Kef Bir the forest moon of Endor?
Ooh. Get out your Return of the Jedi visual dictionaries.
Well, I doubt they name it.
Get out your wayfinder.
Well, I have the visual dictionary upstairs. I could probably just go get it. But nonetheless, let's move on here. So I don't know where you guys are at, but they get onto the ship.
Yep.
And some shenanigans ensue with you want us to be here. And some force mumbo jumbo from Rey. Of course, they split up. She goes to Kylo's house to feel on his Vader face. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Anyways, you know what I mean.
Speaking of that Vader helmet too, like one of the other things from the spoilers was we were supposed to get, or Kylo's new helmet was supposed to have elements of Vader's helmet.
Yeah, that was rumor. Because so when he goes to get in the leaks, when he goes to get his helmet repaired, it was a big deal. Like I think it was supposed to be repaired in Vader's castle on Mustafar, and
Oh, yeah.
I think that people assumed that it was going to have Vader's helmet pieces in it, but I don't think that was ever actually in the leaks. But it was going to be like it was going to be like a big ritual seance thing. Like supposedly it was like a 5-minute sequence that they cut down to, I think, like 30 seconds in the movie, which is probably fine once again, because just all the story shit they have to tell in this movie. But
Wow. I swear the thing I read said it had parts of Vader's helmet, and then the red lines we see in the helmet were actually part kyber crystal, which is supposed to like amplify his force powers or whatever.
Yeah, I think I remember reading that too, but that sounds more to me like rumor stuff than actual leak stuff around that time. But yeah, it was a huge deal though, and the Knights of Ren were like performing the seance, and that little gorilla creature was supposed to be putting it together, and I don't even know if they showed the gorilla creature.
Yeah, they do. He's welding.
Okay.
Yeah. He says grape ape. So they, long story short, Hux is the spy, which is like,
By the way, I'm the spy.
His line is, I don't care if you win. I just want Kylo. I need Kylo Ren to lose.
So that worked for me.
It does work for me. Something that didn't work for me is all of a sudden there's this new general. Nobody's told us. Yeah, that's fine, but no explanation. Is he an equal to Hux? Is he his? I don't know. There's not a lot of explanation there.
But
I knew the Hugs was going to do that. By the way, I'm just saying.
So I liked. That's one of the leaks that I read on paper, and I was like, I hate this because all they said, like all the leaks say, like the leaks aren't like, and then so and so says, and then so and so says. It's just like there's a first order informant. It's Hux, and like it kind of continues in like bullet notes. And that was one that I read that I was like, I hate that. That's dumb. And then seeing it in the movie, it's like it's not so much that he wants the Resistance to win; he just fucking hates Kylo.
Hates Kylo, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that worked.
But him just coming out saying, "I'm the spy."
Yeah.
It's me, guys. I'm the spy. So,
and then he was kind of slimy and creepy.
And I think this other general guy, I think he was just a plant from the Emperor.
I think you're right.
How do you guys feel about some of the banter they had on the ship, or when Rey was doing the Force mind trick, and the stormtroopers are like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?"
I loved it. I love that.
That was some celebrity that doing that voice. Okay. I don't know who, but
it's one of JJ's Twitter buddies.
Yeah, they do. They do a lot of
all
that
his buddies are in the movie.
I didn't hate it, but I could have done without it also.
Yeah. I did kind of like how Poe was like, "Can she do that to us?" I thought that was kind of cool.
So, Kylo and Rey have a a lightsaber fight via Force Skype. If you look around, you probably have a local triad of lightsaber dueling you can join.
I really like that. I really like that part with them. Mm-hmm. The way their worlds were connecting.
Absolutely.
And through that, the Vader mask falls on the ground, and he knows that she's on the ship,
which is theoretically destroyed now.
Sure.
Well, it fell on the ground in Kijimi where he was, and that's how he discovered she was on the ship.
Correct, and then Kijimi is blown up.
Unless he took it with him.
Unless one of his
went up there.
We don't see him take it.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think he's going to need it now.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
He's probably good.
I didn't see him take his helmet after he killed Han either. He kind of left it on the catwalk.
Yeah.
So Kylo goes to the ship and tells Rey that she is Palpatine's daughter. Surprise. Palpatine had her parents killed because they wouldn't give her up. And Kylo reveals that he and Rey are a dyad in the Force.
Which I missed the first time I saw that. I didn't catch that until the Emperor was saying something about it. But so yeah, it's like all of a sudden they throw something new at us, and here I'm like, what does that mean? Again, a little more exposition I think would have been good for that.
Yeah, I like the idea of this dyad in the Force, but I don't like her being a Palpatine.
Very Clone Warsy.
I don't like that. It just kind of changes the dynamics of the saga a bit much. And there's things that I like. There's elements that I like about it, but I'm not sure if I like them enough to justify it. So like I like in Return of the Jedi how it's basically the end of that movie is the Palpatines trying to tear apart the Skywalkers, and it ends with the Skywalkers tearing apart the Palpatines. Like, I like that element of it, but I'm not sure if I like it enough to justify it as the end
To do it again.
to the saga. You
All
know?
right, so I'm just going to say this a lot to piss off Knight of Ren in the chat here. Sorry, dude, but his daughter, not his granddaughter, his daughter, because he said it 4 fucking times. Hey, how's that name working out for you now, Knight of Ren? Just saying, love you, buddy. So they escape and go to Endor. Then, and I say they, it's the whole get along gangs back on the Falcon. And for some reason, when Finn sticks his head out, he's wearing the breathing apparatus that probably still smells like Minox shit from 40 years ago. And away they go. They go to Endor to play in the water. So they have to crash land because landing gear doesn't work. And I'm pretty sure I've seen this thing do a vertical takeoff before. I'm just curious.
By the way, Hux gets killed. I think,
yeah, I thought we said, yeah. Hux gets killed unceremoniously. So
yeah. Tyler, I was listening to your recap on Nerd Rage, and people laughed at that. And you didn't like that.
Yeah, the opening night they laughed at it, which, like, I didn't think it was funny, and I kind of made the kind of like it was the same thing like in Civil War, like when Tony shoots Falcon and people laugh like that. I don't think either one of those moments are meant to be funny.
Wait, what did they laugh at?
When Pride turns around and shoots Hux, and he's like, "We found our traitor."
Why are they laughing at?
Don't know.
Well, my only guess
he was the bad guy. Ooh,
yeah, my only
traitor.
guess also is when they shoot him, he has to fly back like 20 yards, and maybe that's what makes it funny. You see a lot of that. People getting blown away.
Be glad those stormtroopers don't hit people more often.
But but it's funny. Like that happened the first time, but the second time I went, that didn't happen. So,
I felt more like, yeah, kill that slimy son of a bitch. I didn't like Hux. I don't like Hux. I think he's a dumb character. I think he's just like a slimy SS officer, like kind of a deal.
Well, I think that's definitely what he's supposed to represent is like this kind of the extreme fascist.
Yeah. What is a cur again? That's what he's described as by Snoke.
A cur is a rabid cur. It is basically just I think it's a impolite way to call a man a bitch as far as a dog. But a lot of the time it relates to their bloodline, which anybody that's read past I know Brink, it's not in the movies, it's not canon, but Hux's family, his father, was very integral in the in that whole situation before then. So I don't know if that was a nod to that. So we meet the people on horses, Janna and her crew, who we don't bother to introduce anyone else. You used to be stormtroopers though.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, and was supposed to be theoretically either Finn's sister or Lando's daughter. I think they were playing around with both, but I think they had settled on Lando's daughter towards the end. And I think even in the visual dictionary, Lando talks about his daughter ending up being a stormtrooper and then escaping being a stormtrooper, like in the visual dictionary. But.
Well, maybe they'll flesh that out at another time.
10, 11, 12.
Yeah. So they go to so Rey goes to the Death Star. Of course, Finn has to chase after her. They use the knife.
That's what I was gonna say. Can we talk about how dumb that knife is?
Yeah, I don't like that.
That was very Indiana Jones. Except that Indiana Jones did it better.
It's Goonies too.
That was Goonies. That's what I saw. Goonies. That's all I saw.
Well,
I haven't seen Goonies.
And you're gonna forge this knife with the outline of the wreckage, but God forbid a wave come by and smash into it and change the wreckage.
Yeah, I don't like
your
that.
plan's gone to hell.
No,
Have we heard of erosion, people? Haven't we heard of erosion?
How do
the
you know where
knife
to stand?
changes.
Galaxy far, far away.
The knife changes as the
I
horizon
want the
changes.
knife.
And how would you know where to stand as well? Like to line it up.
It's wherever you're standing.
Oh, use the force. Gotcha.
Listen. They had a lot to pack into this. So she goes into the Emperor's throne room on the Death Star and finds a secret compartment. And Then she meets her bad guy version of herself, which is ridiculous. She has this overwhelmingly cumbersome lightsaber that
She's got
makes
these conehead teeth. What's up with them conehead teeth?
Oh,
I
and
did,
then the
I
teeth,
did like the feeling when she was in the throne room.
So are you saying you're not ordering the
Loved
hot toy, Chris?
I got chills. Did you
Oh,
get chills?
no.
Us?
Yeah, I love the feeling in that throne room. You just look around and just see remnants and you remember. And the music,
No.
of course, the soundtrack was on point.
Yeah, I don't mind her in the throne room. I just hate her
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah, well, that thing was just horrendous.
Yeah.
I get mad.
And it's funny
Yeah,
when,
I love all that.
when she finds the Wayfinder, she's like, oh, 2 were made.
Can
Did someone tell
can
her
we
2
just
were
call it
made?
something different here?
Mm-mm.
The
The
GPS.
GPS. Just call it the
Call it
GPS.
the juice
And that's
box.
why she finds the other Wayfinder, because that was the Emperor's. So it went with him when he. You know
Well,
what I mean?
now that makes sense to me. Vader had one, and then the Emperor had the other. I get
Yep.
that now, but it should have somehow been discussed.
Yep. And that's what the
Ugh.
baby pig monster was gonna do.
Well, we didn't have to
Oh.
see a baby pig monster. I mean, we didn't have to see all that, but just a little thing in there. I know the regular basic moviegoer who really doesn't give a fuck about Star Wars or doesn't know much about Star Wars didn't need that information, but
Mhm.
I needed that information. Maybe I would have thought a little different.
But from when Kylo shows up there through the Solo bit, that is my favorite part of this film. Like that's
Oh
my
yeah, that's where it
the
shifted
highlight
gears for me. I
Yeah.
totally enjoyed from here to the end. It was
This
So I'm a
where I
little
got
iffy
my
on.
insight.
I'm a little iffy on the end, but I
well,
like
the end part.
but I like that sequence, like them fighting on the wreckage and then
Mhm.
Solo coming to Kylo, the whole bit. I love all of that a lot.
that lightsaber fight is one of the tops. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that is a great fight, especially to get tired. I mean, people
Yes.
Yeah, she couldn't handle
tired.
it.
It was amazing.
Are we just gonna skip over the Leia? I'm just gonna go lay down. I know what I got to do, and Maz is explaining it to everybody.
But we've
I was kind of
We're
okay with that.
I'm not, man.
I know you're not. I know you're not. I'm just
They had
saying.
to find a way out, and they just
Well-
she lost the will to live. Again,
so
another
she
one.
did. So she did all that just to say Ben. That's it. That's all she did. From the point she laid down, all we hear her do is say Ben. Like I still think it should have been her. Now I get it. They probably couldn't do it because they didn't have the footage. But I think it would have meant more if it was her kind of doing the force projection thing like Luke did and having that conversation with her son.
I don't
But to-
agree.
See, to me, it's the trifecta. It's her saying Ben, it's Solo talking to him, and it's Rey healing him. It's all three of those things working together that brings him back.
Yep.
And I also love how it plays into Last Jedi with Luke telling Rey, like, I can't do this, and then she actually plays a part in doing it. Like I dig that. That all works for me.
So when she heals him, his scar heals as well.
Correct.
I initially thought it happened later on, but
His nose remains the same shape though. For better or
right.
worse.
And I would imagine his ears remain close to his head. Shout out to Adam Driver, fine
He's
actor.
amazing, though.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He was
amazing.
really good in this movie.
Yeah.
I really looked at him differently in this
Same.
movie than I'd done in the past.
Mhm.
I love the fact that leading up to this, every time Rey interacts with Kylo, she fucking hates him. And in that moment, when she realizes Leia dies, and she goes to heal him, man, it's really moving.
Yeah.
You mean just in this movie, or because I don't feel like she hates him in 8 all the time?
In this
No.
movie.
In this movie, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know they didn't want to butcher with Leia and do a full CGI out, but I would have really went for a little bit more than just her saying Ben. You know what I mean? Do a little more CGI. Get someone in there. Get a voice. I mean, I get it. They don't want to disrespect her in a way. I understand that, but
It's
it
that
just-
gift and that curse, man. It's like if they did it and it was tremendous, then
I know.
great. But if it wasn't right, everybody would be like, "Oh man!"
again, they played it safe.
Yeah,
They walked the line.
that's true.
I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
don't agree.
I love that sequence.
So we get Rey takes the TIE Fighter, TIE Express, whatever we're calling this thing. Promptly
TIE Fighter.
goes back to the Porga Island there.
Mhm.
And actually, I'm skipping a part. Back at the base, we are told that Leia's dead. There's a pretty tough scene there with Chewbacca just losing his
Oh
shit.
God,
Dude, that one got me right in the feels.
that's a hard one. That's a hard one to watch.
He falls to his knees again and yells too. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Poe is pretty much de facto in charge, and he he needs a co-captain.
Are we going to discuss the kiss? You guys were good with the kiss
What kiss?
at the end?
Well, we're not at the
We're
end.
not at the
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I gotta go back and watch it again.
Unless they go back
I
to base a
thought
couple
that was
times.
over with.
No, we have a lot of movie left.
Yeah.
We are not even halfway through these notes yet. So, let's see.
gotta go check that bootleg.
Okay, so Poe's in charge. Lando and Poe have a brief moment about how'd you do it. We trusted in each other or some nonsense like that.
Mhm.
So back on, is it Acto? Is that how you say it?
Act 2.
Act 2, yeah. Rey's burning the ship so she can't leave. She throws her lightsaber, and here comes good old retcon Luke Skywalker back to life to fix all the problems with the previous movie. He apologizes for being wrong.
Yes. He
about
actually,
everything.
do you think they made a point of him saying that he was wrong?
See, I don't read it that way. Like I think it's him. So like if the Jedi Council and the Jedi Order of the old times was wrong, then that doesn't represent what the Jedi are supposed to be. But he thought it did, and he considered himself to be a part of that lineage. So that was the issue. It's not that the Jedi way is wrong. It's that the Jedi had been wrong.
See, I took it as he was wrong to run and hide.
See, I never took it as running and hiding in the first place. You know what I mean? Like I never took him going to Octu as running and hiding. I took it as, I'm endangering the mission. I shouldn't have come. That's his fucking way. The moment that he thinks that he is causing more harm than good, the first thing he tries to do is remove himself from the scenario.
Well, I mean, he ran, right? So he left the situation and he made it so nobody could find him. I mean, to me, that's running and hiding. But
See, I don't think he's running away. He's. I don't even think.
Okay, he's removing himself from a situation. Like
Yes.
he's not doing it out of fear.
Correct.
So
Okay, I'm good there.
yeah. So and I think he's saying that he was wrong to do that. Like he shouldn't have cut himself off from the Force.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I got from that.
But I think he realized that when he turns himself back onto the Force in 8, he realizes that. Like all of that happens in 8.
Well, and I think he's saying like because she's acting like he did, right? So he went to this island, cut himself off from everybody, and she's doing the same thing. And he's saying, "No, I was wrong to do this. You shouldn't do this."
Right. No, that I agree with.
Thanks.
But that,
I like
just
that.
to Chris's point, I think that is not a retcon. It's acknowledging the decision that he makes in 8.
Gotcha.
So, kind of a neat little throwback. Luke finally pulls a fucking X-wing out of a swamp.
I like that.
Yeah,
Me too.
and she hooks up the she gets the Garmin GPS out of the burnt down ship.
Well,
somehow.
they go up to the hut and they pull Leia's lightsaber out of the wall.
Right, and then tells the story of how she knew that her son would die at the end of her Jedi journey, which I guess, yeah, that happens. So, let's see, where are we at here? Oh, all the generations of Jedi are with her. She is meant to bring both sabers to Exegol. Gets the Wayfinder, hops in the X-wing, and she is headed to Exegol from there.
Okay. So I just want to say, up until this point of the movie, I am on board. I'm on board with this movie until here. And it's from here on that this movie falls apart to me. But
Why?
we'll go through it piece by
What's the
piece. But
turning point though, like what exactly hit you that made it turn?
so there's a number of things. I don't know if you want me to list them here, but so for one, just to run back a little bit, I know everybody likes Luke bringing the X-wing out of the swamp. I do too, but I don't need that. And I feel like that falls in line with the same type of shit as giving Chewie a medal, and it's just taking care and
Jeez.
adding closure to characters that don't need it. Where I feel like a lot more characters needed care and closure from the sequel trilogy, but they didn't focus on that as much. When we move out of this sequence and we get into the final battle, I think that all of the stuff that happens in the temple is dark, hard to see, hard to follow. I don't think that it makes a whole lot of sense. I don't think that one lightsaber stopping lightning just to make an X with another lightsaber to stop lightning and then turns the Emperor into a pile of mush makes any sense. I don't think that pushing Ben Solo down into a hole for Ben Solo to come up and do some healing as he was healed. And then like, I just like, there's so,
Jeez.
yeah. And then there's a space battle that's the largest, grandest space battle that we've ever seen in terms of numbers, but we don't actually see a great space battle. It's not as good or better than Return of the Jedi space battle or Rogue One space battle. It's just quick shots of ships flying.
So basically, is it Luke pulling the X-wing out of the water that turns you? Is that the part?
No. That's a side note too, because
Okay.
earlier on in the conversation when I said there's two types of pandering that happens in this. There's one that's about the Twitter people, and then there's one for the original trilogy people. This is another original trilogy people.
Right.
But that I was just backtracking for a second to touch on that. It's everything after this that really starts to
unwind for you.
Yeah, it just takes the you know, when you're a kid and they had there was like a little square rectangle and they put the pegs in and you have a hammer and you hammer the pegs in and then you dump out the rectangle like from a side compartment. So all the pegs are in place by this point, but it's from this point forward where they just fucking hammer everything in for me that I don't like about the structure and the story of this film.
Gotcha.
Did any of you guys notice Mark Hamill in this as that ghost? He looked way more than 2 years older than he did in the last movie. Like he really had some bags under his eyes, man.
He was a lot heavier, and I called him Puffy Skywalker.
Okay.
But it was funny though, because like when I saw him at the premiere, he didn't look that bad. It's almost like they made him look bad as a Force ghost.
Okay.
They aged him as a ghost. I did like him.
Oh, go ahead.
I did like the way he was standing, like Yoda did.
Mm-hmm.
He had the same handout, the way Yoda had a handout, and trying to lift the flipper up. You know, it was like the same pose and the same look on his face. But there you go. They were going after me on that in that scene. You know.
Yeah, I paid special attention. He's got a shit-eating grin on his face. Like I fucking did it. It really looks that way on his face.
He's a bright ass Force ghost.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he was like way brighter than Yoda was, or Obi-Wan. Like he's like
RGB
fucking.
life.
That dude's like LED ghost.
It's a 4K.
Maybe.
Do you see
Okay,
Joe
so
Britt's comment?
let's see. So we haven't mentioned Dio, the little wheel droid that was what's his name's Willy Lump Lump.
Sir, sell that merchandise.
That's right.
I liked him. I liked him too. I didn't like him as much as Babu Frick, but I liked the thank you. Like when I like the idea of this neurotic, like OCD type, you know, anxious droid. I feel like we've gotten all these. We talked about this recently, but all these sassy droids recently. Like L3 is a sassy droid, and Rebel. I mean, the Rebels Chopper is a sassy droid. K2SO is a sassy droid. BB-8 is a sassy droid. Like we've gotten so many of these sassy droids recently that I like. This one seemed different to me, so I liked that about him.
Yeah, he seemed like an animal you get from a rescue. He was very timid.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that droid seen some shit.
That blow dryer head.
He was thrown in a sack and thrown into a lake. Group of puppies. An unwanted group of puppies. All right, just keeping it moving.
I liked him. I thought he was amazing.
Yeah,
Chris, you still there?
Yeah, just
I'm sorry.
listening to the banter. So
Open up the book and tell us the story.
Poe and Finn are
Continue
happy.
on.
They're both generals. R2 restores 3PO's memory, which of course is shenanigans. R2 also is getting messages from Luke's X-Wing. Finn feels that it's going to be Rey in there, leaving a trail to Exegol. They figured out a plan to keep the final order on Exegol, which makes no sense whatsoever, but that's okay.
Yeah, the navigation beacon.
Yeah. Lando and Chewie.
They knew that. Yeah.
Lando and Chewie are somehow, and keep in mind this entire movie happens in 16 hours, or fly around to get the word out to the galaxy. And then, and Brian brings words here. Poe and Finn give a Captain America speech.
Yeah, that's basically what they do.
Yeah.
I think I even heard the words "not today" in it once too.
Yeah.
This is our Independence Day.
So
Yeah, yes.
there's there's a lot that happens here.
It's like Lando
Frank, do you want to read this for a while?
So
Lando
basically,
and Chewie with Doctor Strange bringing
basically
everybody through
the rest of it is all in Exegol, and it just goes through the whole thing. But I mean, Chris, you ready to give it up?
Yeah, go ahead.
right.
I'll let you talk. My voice.
So
is
basically, we're on Exegol now, and Rey is there looking for the Emperor. And while she's doing that, the Resistance arrives, and they find out that their initial plan is shot because the Final Order, has figured out what they're doing. So instead, the Resistance is going to ride some horses on a Star Destroyer to go blow up the antenna there.
Don't even get me started on that.
Real quick, I want to point out one of my favorite tweets I've seen in regard to this is somebody said, I just want to point out that they replaced a character in episode 9 with another character to ride space horses with Finn and hack First Order tech from the character they had in the previous movie that rode space horses with Finn to hack First Order tech. But that's fucking true.
It is true. I mean, I do really like the fact that Jana ended up being a stormtrooper like him. That was a nice interchange that helped, I think, expand on how Poe was feeling in
Me too.
in Force Awakens. Well, in Force Awakens, he's all on his own. He doesn't know what's happened to him. He's kind of had this awakening moment, so to speak, and I think it was nice to see that he wasn't alone in that. It's kind of cool. I'm becoming a Finn fan. Can I say
Fin fan?
Finn fan?
Fin fan?
It's like a shim sham.
Is that a hashtag? Is that a hashtag I
Fin
could
fan.
destroy?
Fin
Fin fan clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Fin fan clan ain't nothing.
So while the posse is riding those horses, Rey finds the throne, and the Emperor is there, and she confronts him, and we find out that there's a bunch of evil stonecutters there, speaking parcel tongue from Harry Potter.
I was going Stonecutters Simpsons.
Me
Well,
too.
I did a double reference there.
Also, this is also the scene that there's another piece of, it's like this movie adds 2 big pieces of lore, right?
Yeah.
The dyad is added, and the fact that Palpatine says that every Sith Lord carries the Sith with him, and that if he dies and can go into something, they will carry the next. So that kind of makes a little bit more sense to me of the rule of 2. Because if the apprentice is always like, if it's always these 2, and the apprentice is always going to try to challenge the master and kill him, and either the master kills the apprentice and then takes on a new apprentice, and one day the apprentice will kill the master, or the apprentice kills the master. Why would you do this? Like, why would you ever become part of this organization? Like, you know how it's going to end. But it makes sense if you're the master and you eventually die, that you aren't really having a proper death. You're kind of just moving on into the next generation of Sith, so that every Sith Lord is the embodiment of all previous Sith before him. And it's only the apprentices that die that kind of aren't worthy enough to become part of that lineage. That's cool to me. I did dig that element a lot, but it's kind of just mentioned and moved forward, you know.
Now, how'd you feel? Did you get a feeling of wash and repeat from Return of the Jedi, where basically he's trying to bait her into doing this?
No,
Because it's the only way to save her friends.
no, not really. Obviously 7 follows a lot of similar formula to Star Wars, but like, I do feel like we have to be a little bit careful with that, because like at a certain point you're going to be like, oh, so let me get this right. The Avengers all team up again to fight the big bad guy. Like, well, yeah, that's what Avengers do. They all team up at the end to fight the big bad guy. And like deception and trying to get in your head to control and manipulate and puppet master a situation. That's what Palpatine does. So like, if you're going to have him in it, he's always going to do what he does, So like, I've seen a couple of people say that, like, it's sort of a retread of Return of the Jedi. I don't really get that really at all from this.
Okay.
But personally. Of all my issues with standing, that's not one of them.
All right. Any other opinions on that? No. So anyway, he opens the roof and shows her what's going on up above her. And at this point, I think this is where I got a little fuzzy because there's so many things happening at the same time. But this is where the I wrote plows. The Resistance plows up the antenna. No, they blow it up on that Star Destroyer. But the bad guys are gonna do something else. And basically, Finn, with his knowledge of being a mopper all those years, is like, oh, the cannons have stopped. That means they're rebooting their systems. That means they're going to be able to fix whatever we just did to them. And
I never even caught that.
yeah, so he comes up with
I
a
don't pay
plan
attention to Finn.
to fix that. Basically, he wants to bring down the Star Destroyer, and Jana's like, "Well, I'm going with you."
Mhm.
And so while they do that, basically these Star Destroyers can't navigate out of Exegol, and so the Resistance, with their small band of ships, is going to go try and blow up those Star Destroyers. But the TIE fighters are the new TIE fighters. You see them with the triangle wing things.
Yeah.
New ships, so they're struggling to do that.
Ships, new uniforms, new everything.
Yeah.
Sith troopers. God
Oh
bless.
man.
Tyler,
Did you see the
my heart breaks for you, Tyler.
the officers' uniforms
I know,
on the
it's
bridge of
right
these
there.
Star Destroyers? They were spiffy with the red line.
Yeah, there.
Well, the Emperor ends up getting red on him too. So
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I do think it's funny, like, since the Sith Trooper was like the big rollout for this movie, and I saw somebody like they actually timed how long the Sith Troopers were in the movie. It was like 3 minutes and 40 something seconds that you actually see either the Sith Trooper or the Sith Jump Trooper.
Is that more than the Knights of Ren?
No, I see the Knights of Ren get a significant amount for a standard Star Wars, like, the Boba Fett's, the Praetorian Guards, the the Knights of Ren actually get some love in this movie.
Man, they should have. What a waste.
I would have liked to have more. Don't get me wrong, but they get some love in this movie.
All right, and then I think at this time Ben arrives. Did you happen to notice how the TIE Fighter landed when
Yep.
he landed there?
Like a regular TIE fighter.
Yep, no folded wings.
No folded wings.
It all begins and ends with Gideon. I guess he kept that.
Guess it
secret
wasn't
for
a
himself.
TIE Fighter Plus.
Mm.
Did he land in a proper TIE fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proper TIE Fighter. Yeah.
Huh.
And let's see. So he then jumps down the hole. Ouch! Lands on the chain, and gets down there, and
Wake up, Chris.
I know, right?
he starts fighting the Knights of Ren without a lightsaber.
Well, there's Imperial Guards in there first that he's taken out, right?
Oh, that's right, because he has a gun, right, and he's shooting people at first.
Yeah, dude. And I guess the Knights of Ren, they just heard that, like, he's gone good now, or they're like, oh man, no cape on this dude. I wouldn't trust him.
No helmet.
Maybe they could sense it.
Yeah, well, so that's some information I would like to know. Like, who are they? I mean, the Knights of Ren were there at the slaughtering of the Jedi school, but they're not force. Are they force sensitive? Are they not force sensitive? I don't know.
Nothing in the book about that.
And I don't think Black and White. There is a series, like a comic book series, being done now that I think is digging into them. But
Now, yeah.
if it's not in the movie, it doesn't
Well, I
count.
thought I remember reading too, like in the spoilers, that their weapons, like although they weren't like lightsabers, like the ends of the axes and different things were supposed to have some sort of like lightsaber.
I do
tech.
remember something like that, like almost like the Praetorian Guards had, though. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, moving on. All right, so at this time, Rey is getting ready to promise, or she's faking to Al Palpatine that she's going to strike him down. Instead, she drops. She's holding Luke's saber at this time, drops it behind her back, and force Skypes it to Kylo.
Mhm.
And one of my favorite things in the movie, and it's so tiny, but Kylo pulls the saber from behind his head, looks around at these guys, kind of gives them one of these barely shrugs, and just fucks them all up. But it's just this little shrug. He looks at him and just was like,
I gotta do it.
What are you gonna do, guys?
I gotta do it.
Gonna fuck you up.
Sorry, you out.
Damn the ruse.
Yeah.
So as part of that choreography, Bobby, I was thinking of things that you've said, with his original lightsaber, the way he carries it, like it's very heavy.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to make sense of whether or not he was moving around with that lightsaber as like a normal Jedi would, but I couldn't really tell.
So he does, when they both square off, he holds it different than he held his. Like a lot of times he'd hold it up with one arm and like brace his other arm underneath it to like keep it up. But when him and Rey square off together to fight Palpatine, he like brings it up no problem. Like that's the only one. That's the only scene that I really remember off the top of my head.
Pose, yeah.
All right, and then so he's battling the Knights of Ren at that point, and Rey starts battling the Emperor's guards. In 3 viewings, I could not get a good look at the helmets. These guys, did they look like First Order troopers, or did they look like the old school Emperor guards?
I couldn't tell if they were Royal Guard or Sith troopers, or I couldn't tell what they were.
Yeah, I knew they had capes, but that was the only thing I could really.
And then he has 20 million disciples.
He was selling tickets to the Sith Bowl, man.
The Sith concert.
So everybody there needs to get 4 people underneath them. We're gonna spread this word of the Final Order across.
Dude,
the entire
it's in a pyramid. It's the biggest pyramid scheme ever.
The Sith is a big.
Oh,
All the Sith's been is a big pyramid scheme.
So now I understand how they paid for the ships, how they stocked the ships with people, where the uniforms came. So you buy everything through the pyramid scheme. It's actually Amway, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
They have everything you'd ever need, toilet paper included.
And it all ends at Palpatine.
That's all. That's right. Or
Shop
you're
full of brush.
that's what's happening.
Oh man! All right. So while those guys are doing their fights, the Resistance is failing. Basically, they're being picked off in their little X-wing ships, and Poe is feeling a bit helpless. All his people are dying, and basically, there's not enough of them left to do what they need to do. Even though
Back to running spice, I guess. Fuck it.
So the Star Destroyers are pinned there for now, but they can't seem to blow them up. And then all of a sudden, over the radio, you hear Lando. He says, "Hey, Poe, on your left, we got a whole shitload of people here to help you out."
So
You know what I wish? Hang on a second,
Doctor Strange.
Bobby. I'm going to interrupt and I'm going to let you finish. But I wish he'd come on the radio and said that bit, and I wish Poe would have just gone, "My man."
I'm sure it was in the
And
script.
we didn't get a single permission to come aboard either.
So Brink has said this since the very night we saw it. I just want to go on record and say I never got that impression. Like I there was nothing about this that moment where I was like, this is like Endgame.
Really? Watching it a second time, especially with that in mind, I really, really got that vibe.
Yeah, but but Endgame isn't in my frontal lobe. Like I've done everything I can do to forget it. So it's not present in my mind when I go to see something else.
Do you think that we've just seen too many good versus evil movies that we now just see them all as the same?
They're all the same. They're all cookie cutters.
But are they? I mean, is
Cookie
it
cutters with a little bit of different colored sprinkles.
good
I don't
versus
think I do.
bad? Bad.
Some has
losers,
gluten. Some
and
doesn't have
got
gluten.
a scenario in every movie, so we just kind of identify them as the same.
I think with something that JD said earlier, and I forgot to highlight his comment. We're going in as adults, ready to crucify and look through every nook and cranny when we should be watching these movies with a wide eye, like a 6-year-old,
So
which it's really intended. But when you have so much history in this part
right,
of history, you have to not look like that.
him and I watched the Star Wars special thing on Disney Plus. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was basically just a George Lucas like rundown of all the movies, how they were made, like the whole deal. And when you like, and I don't know if it was a mistake to watch that before we went, or whether it was a good thing that we watched it before we went, but we watched it and it brought back that whole like the first time you ever watched Star Wars as a kid, like that whole initial like, holy crap, like that was the biggest space story of all time at that point. Like it was groundbreaking. And then we went and we watched this and it was almost like it took me back to that point, like watching it on the big screen all over again, the final movie in the Star Wars, in the Skywalker saga. And I just went, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm 5. I hugged my C-3PO cup and cried and laughed and cheered.
But do you think it was just because you were feeling the effects of the high from watching that documentary and going back through the motions?
Maybe
you think maybe that was the high of feeling that way.
Hey guys,
very good possibility.
Guys, only 3 people can talk at once. Okay.
One of my issues is exactly what you're saying, like on the inverse, like where you're like, this is the end of the Skywalker saga, and I agree. But my problem is when I walked out of this, I was like, is this the Skywalker saga, Or is this the Palpatine saga?
I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that. Mm-mm.
These 9 movies, kind of more about the Palpatines now than they are about the Skywalkers.
Is that really how you feel?
The first 3 are probably 50-50. The second 3 are heavy Skywalker. The third 3, heavy Palpatine.
I don't know. I don't feel that way.
I mean, it's all about C3PO and R2D.
I mean, I would put it up for screen time. I would literally put it up for between the 9 films. Do we see more Palpatines on screen than Skywalkers? Like I would be willing to. I would be interested to just see what that yielded results wise.
Do you think they'll run with a Palpatine story after this?
I think if they run with something after this that's connected to this, it has to be, right?
It's a Palpatine Christmas special.
It would have to be. There's no
Can we open our
choice.
gifts?
There's no choice.
Right.
You know, but I don't think that we're going to see anything related to this for probably 20 years.
I mean, unless Rey is impregnated with, a Skywalker child by the Force magic or some shit.
So that is one thing that could save this movie for me is if when he heals when he heals her stomach, like when he puts his hand on her stomach, that he's pulling a Plagueis and making a Skywalker baby.
That's the dumbest shit in the world.
I'm not saying, look, you're don't confuse what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's what I want to happen. I'm not saying that I think that's what happened. I'm just saying if that's not what happened, the Skywalkers are over, and the main character that we follow for the sequel trilogy and one of the main characters that we follow for the prequel trilogy are Palpatines. That's what this movie changes about the saga. It changes the emphasis of what this saga is about. That's my beef with it. That's at the end of the day, that's my beef with this movie. It and unfortunately, it puts a lens on all of it for me. Like it's not like if you don't like episode 1 and you can kind of get past it. Like this changes 1 through 8 for me.
See, I don't agree with you, but I see what you're saying. I don't see it that way though. But that's an interesting point of view. Yeah.
I'm glad you said point of view.
From my point of view, the Jedi are dead. So, okay, Brink, where are we here?
All right, moving on. So this huge fleet is here. Even Zori made it off of Kajimi, which actually we skipped the part that Emperor sent a message by blowing that planet up. So her and Babu Frick got off, luckily, so we get to see some of them more. So they're taking to task blowing up Star Destroyers, and at this point, Rey and Ben have confronted the Emperor, and the Emperor basically goes to shock him, and as such, he discovers that they are a dyad in the Force. I guess something that he has not witnessed for generations. And basically says, all right, fine. He's going to absorb their Force energy from their bond and restores himself to full health.
Just when you think you got the boss level done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's always like that.
Exactly. And then so both heroes fall. They pass out. Eventually, Ben gets up, and then Palpatine basically sends him down the ravine, as Bobby mentioned before.
I do like Palpatine's line right there, though.
Yes.
Where he's like, Skywalker threw me down the pit. Now Skywalker will... I can't remember what he says. Well,
go down the pit too.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, Palpatine's been holding that grudge for
how
many years now?
He's sore. He's sore.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is a Sith.
You don't have a salty meme to put up?
Salty Sith.
Look at the pit.
It's a new cracker.
It'd be a shame if someone pushed you into it.
Oh, so he sends Kylo down the pit. Rey's still passed out, and at this point, the Emperor's full health, and he's going to use Force lightning to disable all the Rebel ships in the sky.
Oh, those eyes, man! They get me.
Yeah, I like that too.
Damn it. Yeah.
Yes, the eyes are great.
I was holding my breath. I'm like,
I mean, I knew he was powerful, but dude, that's like super powerful.
wicked.
The use force lightning, he'd take down the whole fleet all by himself.
Well, not really. It just sort of like stalls them out for a minute, and then they all get better. You just
Yeah.
got to keep watching.
Right. So basically, so Ray wakes up, turns over, looks at the sky, looks up to the sky, and says, "Be with me." And basically, so the camera pans up through the battle up, and you see all the stars, and then you hear all the voices of Jedi long past.
That got me.
I like that
heard,
too,
I
but
heard so much more the second time.
but it's
so
an
cool.
odd assortment of
Yes.
voices.
Very odd choices.
Like it's like all right, so Ben is in it, Kenobi's in it, that's good. Luke's in it, that's good. Yoda's in it, that's good. Ahsoka's in it, I dug that a lot. Anakin, perfect, love that. But like Aya Sakura, Adi Gallo, whatever her name is, and
Lumara.
and no, it's not even Luminar, it's Barriss Ophi. It's
is it?
it's like the less known one.
Barriss Ophi's the one that turned bad, though.
Well, so she's a big deal in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So like I'd even give her more of a pass, but like I love all those characters, but like it just seemed like a strange
And the
choice.
Freddie Prinze Jr., the guy from Rebels, is in it.
Is he? Oh yeah, Kanan. Yep, Kanan is in it.
But I mean, doesn't that all make sense? Aren't they all Jedi? I mean, it's
No, I'm saying like
Hindu and like all of them. It's all of them.
No,
But I
I'm
mean,
saying
if we're gonna do that route, where's Shakti? Where's fucking Illuminara and Dooley? Where's Kiadi Mundi? Where's Plo Koon? Where's, you know what I mean? It just seems like you should have drove. I mean, it's not that it's a big deal. I don't really ultimately care. It just seems like if you were to give me a pen and pad, or if I gave anybody on this panel a pen and pad, and I was like, look, the Jedi from yesteryear are gonna come back and talk to her. Make me a list of the 7.
Qui-Gon's there.
If you would have Barriss Ophi, Aya Sakura, or what was the other one? Adi, I don't even know her name. Adi such and such. She's got like tadpoles hanging off her head. That one, I doubt any of you would have chosen those 3.
And so we do get old Kenobi, old Ben, and we get Ewan Ben in there as well. Ewan Obi-Wan, which I liked. And the last person to speak, of course, is well, I wouldn't say the last person to speak, but Luke has the line, you know, the Force will always be with you, and then they all tell her to rise. And in sequence with that, she gets up, and then I don't remember if they start fighting right away or if they start talking. But at this point, Bobby, as you mentioned, the Emperor's kind of distracted, and he stops shooting the lightning up in the sky, and that's when the ships kind of rebound, power back up. And Finn and Janna, they hotwire a cannon on the command ship, and they use that to blow up the bridge, and the command ship starts to crash, and the Falcon rescues those 2 off the deck so they don't die.
Dusty, you don't look like you're buying that. You don't look like I'm not buying the hot wire and the gun.
Horses in space.
All right, so
But
while
they
that
weren't in space, they were in like
an
upper
atmosphere.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
the air's really thin up there. So. But
they had those long noses, like some warthog noses on those horses. Yeah, throw them some bail, I guess.
Little snout action. Little snout.
all right, so at this point, let's see. Rey has Leia's saber, I believe, and they're squaring off against each other. And the Emperor says, "Hey, he's got all the Sith behind him." And then Rey says, "Oh yeah, well I've got all the Jedi behind me." And then she reaches back, grabs Luke's saber.
It's a little much.
Yeah, so
and she makes the X, and the power of the Jedi compels you.
And they start playing X is coming for you by DMX.
Well,
So that was a nice touch, I thought.
well, and to me,
Like,
like Palpatine's already been down this road. Like he knows what happens when he shoots people with Force lightning, and they block it with a lightsaber.
It never goes good for him. Never. Never goes good.
Like he knows what's gonna happen.
Just take the lightning out. Just take it out. Stop, Joba.
Oh, all right.
Is
And
X going to give it to me?
okay.
Remix.
So upon that, she defeats the Emperor, basically obliterates him. The place is destroyed. The
I got an
stonecutters-
Indiana Jones vibe from that too, by the way. Like that's
oh.
one of the few times where I did get an Indiana Jones vibes. It reminded me of Raiders when he was melting away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then so the place starts coming down. All those chanting stonecutters, they're all killed, and then Rey drops the sabers and keels over. Her eyes are open, but she's not alive. She's dead.
She lost the will to live.
And on the Falcon, I think we definitely get the definitive notion here that Finn is force sensitive because he senses that Rey is gone.
And that's what he was supposed to tell her.
Yes. Oh, it was.
Yes. That's the information he was supposed to tell Rey. Well, like, I got something I got to tell you. I got something I got to tell you. It's that I feel things too.
Yeah.
I thought he had a thing for her.
Maybe that's what he's feeling, if you know what I'm saying.
All right. So at this point, we see a hand from the ravine come out, and it's Kylo pulling himself up out of the ravine. He limps over to Rey, so he's feeling it. He's not doing too well. So he limps over there, basically picks up Rey, embraces her, and then he brings her back to life.
There's a deleted scene where he was like, she's like, what happened? And he was like, I fell down there. It was a real pity. But they cut that out. They went with something else.
Like I get him like going into the pit and coming out as like him being reborn, right? But I feel like he was already reborn at this point. Like
I didn't get that.
I just feel I don't know. It feels like too little, too late. It's like they needed to do something with him so Rey could get the one-on-one with Kylo or with the Emperor. But
See,
like,
I feel like it should have been the two of them since they're the dyad and it only happens every so often. And like it should have been the two of them to.
Well,
Yep, I agree.
do you want to get into some of the alternate endings, Bobby?
Yeah, we can. We can. Sure. Go ahead. I'm trying to remember them all now because like there was a number of different kind of, I think, conceptual things. But what do you have locked and loaded?
No, I'm trying to remember them now.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, they look at each other,
Oh,
and
I know what one was for the Matt Smith one. It was that he got Palpatine to go into him from Matt Smith as the Knight of Ren into himself, and then killed himself.
What?
So the whole thing with Palpatine being locked as like a spirit to the physical realm, right?
Realm.
And he can only move into dark side users. So Kylo positions himself to be in the position with Matt Smith, who was the Knight of Ren that was then possessed by Palpatine, basically. Palpatine left him, went into Kylo, and Kylo killed himself to save Rey and destroyed the Sith, which I would have much preferred, I think. Because then it's still a Skywalker story, and it's and the Skywalkers still bring balance to the Force, and they still eradicate the Sith and all that kind of stuff. The larger picture stuff for me would have worked a bit better. But yeah, that was one when they didn't have Ian McDiarmid attached to it.
Gotcha. Knight of Ren was correct. I mean, the chat. Yes, he's Ben now, not Kylo. Sorry about that. So Ben comes out of the ravine. He brings her back to life. They look in each other's eyes and they have a kiss. And people in my theater clap. Anybody else get a clapping?
I did on the second show.
Not on my couch. Not one clap.
I did last time.
So yeah, I mean, probably just wrapped up in the moment. I mean,
well, I mean, the Reylo fans are, they're a super vocal, passionate group.
I feel like this is bad fan fiction off of Tumblr, to be honest with you. Like this ending.
That's weird.
Earlier in the movie, she and Ben exchange a line where she's like, "Yeah, I would have taken your hand as Ben Solo." So I
like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's on that sequence on the Death Star, right? Like,
yes,
yeah. See, I love all that. That's my favorite section of that movie. Is that
And I don't see her not falling for him, considering what they went through in The Last Jedi together. And I mean, she's been alone her whole life and stuff like that. So I don't know.
And they had a connection, like
broken.
like
I'm broken.
Yep.
women.
It hasn't necessarily seemed romantic to me at all times, but like I think it works.
Yeah.
You know, I would have preferred them live on, you know, and happily ever after than what we got.
And then after the kiss, Ben, he dies. He disappears. And also at the same time, Leia disappears.
Which is weird to me.
So Tyler, you had mentioned it was weird that he pulled himself up out of the ravine. I was under the impression that Leia used his body as a vessel to bring him out of that ravine and revive Rey.
I was under the same impression.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you think that?
Because they disappeared at the same time. And if Leia really died, she would have disappeared earlier in the movie. So maybe she was kind of keeping herself in that realm.
I feel like she was holding on just for him, not to save Rey from, you know, just for Ben. That's what I took away from it. That's one of those things that's definitely up for interpretation.
So to seal his redemption.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. Oh. This is why we have these chats.
Neither one of those fit to me. Like,
I didn't like it at all.
Like why her body stayed. Like, I don't know, until he died. Like, I don't know. I need somebody to explain that one to me.
I don't see why you're confused. That's
well, if she died, if she was going to translate into the Force, she should have done it right then.
Well, Qui-Gon
unless it had to wait for a certain time.
Qui-Gon didn't.
Until there was a balance.
Yoda hangs on for like a second.
Yoda was out. He's like, I'm done.
He's like there, just like Obi-Wan was out.
I took it that she was doing the same thing that Luke did. She was using, that's why she was, but instead of meditating on a rock, she chose to, go the path she did. And that she used her power to channel through Ben to save Rey.
Oh, God, I like that less.
I like that a lot less, actually.
Oh, so
just the whole Skywalker line just sacrifices themselves for fucking Palpatines.
Coming up to the end here, the Resistance, they basically win. They have all of their fleet there, and they blow up all the bad guys. They all fall to the ground, and Rey leaves in Red 5. Specifically mentioned Red 5. Some fan service there. Maybe some cheese.
Sprinkle it. Sprinkles.
I think that's okay. And we got Wedge. So that was some fan service, but that was nice to see him just,
and all Abrams' friends from Lost.
Yeah. And Snap Wexley. How are we going to continue the battle without Snap Wexley?
These guys haven't had work in a while. Come on, please.
Actually, as it turns out, we're going to do just fine without old Snap. I know it seemed real dark there for a second, but Snap actually isn't going to make or break this party.
Yep.
Well, there's other fan service in there too, because we see the Ghost from Rebels,
which is cool.
Yeah, which is a nice little mod. And then what's the other ship? I can't think of it now.
The Mandalorian ship's in there.
It was the Iron from Hardware.
I don't think that's the Mandalorian ship. I know what you're talking about.
Well, a YouTube video has lied to me then, Bobby.
I think they may have. But the U-Wings are in there from Rogue One.
Is it the ship from what's the guy's name in Shadows of the Empire? What is that ship?
Oh yeah, that thing is in there. Dash Rendar's ship.
Dash Rendar.
Outrider.
The Outrider. Yep, that's there. Yep. There's a lot of Easter egg stuff in that scene.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
And also at this point, someone mentions over the radio, it's happening all over the galaxy. So we start seeing the cutscenes similar to the end of Episode 6, where the First Order is falling everywhere. People
Which
are blowing
doesn't
up
make
ships.
sense. Which doesn't make sense to me either.
Over the moon of Endor, we see Ewoks looking up at the sky, and someone has indeed pulled off the Holdo maneuver one more time.
Yub.
Yep. I did see a First
That's not
Order.
necessarily true.
I saw the First Order ship split in half, and it had the shooting things behind it, just as in Last Jedi.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that. You are interpreting that.
Oh, they could have remote controlled the ship. You're right, Bobby. They didn't have to have a single person on there.
Well, they could have. I mean, it could have been anything.
Oh. Okay.
We're not going to talk about the one movie you decide to be critical of in this whole entire fucking saga, and everything else. You're like, you know what? That fucking works for me.
Bobby, I am not against the Holdo maneuver.
You're like, you know what? Yeah, no, bring in the little fucking monkey man that fucking can wipe out 3PO's memories. No fucking issue there. But like, something else, you know.
Oh, you're not talking at me. Okay, I just want because you know how people just have. You're speaking generally. I would hope, right? Like, people have had issues with that maneuver, and they actually.
Yeah. I mean, people have issues with a ton of stuff in that movie.
I like that maneuver, although I think it should have
I
been
do too.
either
I do too.
Akbar or Leia.
So I do too.
I
do too.
Okay. All right. So we have that. Everybody goes back to the Rebel base, and I just happen to know we actually get a close up of the Ghost landing on the base too. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that. That's cool.
I remember that.
So hugs and kisses go around. Poe gets dissed. Chewie gets a medal, and the three main characters hug at the end, which is really nice to see.
A well choreographed hug, I'll say too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Then afterwards, Rey goes to Tatooine to Lars' homestead. Some old lady comes up, says, "Who dis? No one's been here in a long time." Rey sees dead people and then exclaims that she is a Skywalker. We see her kind of float down into the Lars homestead on a sled, which is kind of neat. And we also see her ignite a lightsaber that is made up out of her staff, and it's a yellow blade.
For absolutely no reason. It's like, oh, look, I just want to make sure this thing still works. Okay, it still
It was
works.
very Darth Maul at the end of Solo.
Yeah.
Where he ignites it just for no reason.
So the yellow blade, the significance, right? Anybody up to speed on their color lore?
Guardians of the Jedi Temples have yellow.
Okay. And I happened to notice that she had it when she slid down the hill into the home there, and
it was a 3.5 foot slide.
Yeah. Tyler, she also buries the lightsabers in the ground, and I think I heard you talk on one of the Nerd Rage episodes, that with Andy and Bobby about. Did she use parts from those two lightsabers to make her own lightsaber?
So that was in the spoilers, and it didn't end up happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those two are like intact. So you see her wrap them in like what Leia's was wrapped in, which I think is kind of cool. It's like you're reuniting the twins, right? And what I think.
No, I know it is cool. It is cool. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's cheesy too, but I mean, like,
no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's Star Wars cheesiness, but it's cool Star Wars cheesiness. Like it works.
And at this point, we learned that you can use the Force to bury objects in sand.
Well, like that's I'm like, man, why didn't you take it to Naboo? Like, look, if my bloodline comes from either Tatooine or Naboo, and you got a fucking 50-50 shot, like, please take my shit to Naboo. Don't, like, you know what I mean? Don't leave me on fucking Tatooine. Jesus Christ, that place sucks.
Well, she did go there in the Falcon. She had BB-8 with her, so I don't know if she was just there to pay last respects or what.
I think it was so they could force the little Jawas into the just one last time. You see him fly over, and we get the woo-tee-tee sound effects.
But at the very end, we get the binary sunset with accompanying soundtrack, and the end of the movie.
And the Force Ghosts.
Yep.
I mean, that's the typical ending right there. Very safe.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you want him to? Did you want him to just fuck everything up and leave this giant cliffhanger for the shit that's over? I don't understand this playing it safe bullshit. What the fuck did you want him to do? Tell me what you want him to. Did you want them to just get a goddamn hammer and swing around and fucking bust people's teeth off?
See, I don't even
watch the goddamn thing.
I don't even necessarily think it's. I don't even necessarily think it's safe.
About it. I'm just telling you how I feel.
I don't necessarily even think it's safe.
So fucking be it.
Look at 1. Look at the end of 1. It's like a huge celebration that it ends on. 2 is a celebration that it ends on. 3 is not. It's more like 3 in that regard. 4 is a celebration. 5 is different, and then 6 is a celebration. 7 is a celebration. No, 7 is standing on the fucking the Lord of the Rings shit, and then 8 is the broom. Oh, broom 1 Kenobi.
What happened to that kid?
So I mean, I think that's it was never meant to be something we really follow. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that there's anything like.
It's kind of like it ends where it starts.
It just doesn't hit me. That ending didn't hit me because it's like okay, you're Rey Skywalker, and then you're looking off into and now Luke and Leia are there. I don't understand that. Like, why wouldn't Anakin be there if it was going to be this ghost party? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Is that when Mario party in Luigi's mansion?
yes. Like, I feel like if Anakin was there, it would somehow make more sense. Because like you're subscribing to be a Skywalker, and now here are these ghost Skywalkers that are with you. And maybe if Ben was there, it would make some more sense.
You want Anakin hugging his kids?
But it just seems weird to have it be Luke and Leia to me for some reason. Like, it doesn't.
Those are her.
I think you see the Force ghosts. I think you see the Force ghosts that and you see them as you knew them. So I think if Anakin as a Force ghost appeared to, I don't know, Obi-Wan, he would have seen him as young Skywalker, not old Skywalker.
That's interesting.
He appeared to Luke.
Yeah, he did.
As
and they changed it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't.
Well, honestly, let's review that for a minute. All right. It's there's Ben and there's Yoda, and who the fuck is that?
Yeah, and then some other guy,
some dude with a fucked up haircut.
Yeah. Well, it's even weirder. To be fair, I remember as a kid, I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" When it was Sebastian Shaw, I was like, "Who in the fuck?" And, seeing him with hair fucked me up. My dad was like, "I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Darth Vader." I'm like, "Is for real? The tough guy? Why is this guy got the same haircut as my fucking social studies teacher?" But like, I think that. I don't know, man. It just seems even if it was just Ben that she saw, it would make more sense to me. It just doesn't hit me. Like, she's like, "I'm taking a Skywalker, and here's the Skywalker that I loved."
That Luke and Leia are watching over her.
Like, but I don't even get that shit from Leia. Leia hasn't even really been that involved with her, except for that 1 year that we didn't see.
Well, I guess a lot happened.
I guess so.
She felt really fond of her.
Right. No, I get it. I just I don't see it. Like, I understand that that's the intention, but like, I don't see it. I don't feel it.
I wish they could have.
I don't understand why you have a problem with it, though. I mean, like, seriously.
Other than what I've said,
it just it makes. How does it not make sense, though? I mean, think about everybody saw who they were connected to. Like,
so you don't think she was more connected to Ben?
Not as far as a teacher, no.
But you didn't say that you see who you're connected to in regards to being a teacher. You say you saw who you're connected to, which I agree with you on. I agree with you that that's who you see is the people that you're super connected to.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like she was super connected to Ben. She's part of the dyad that only comes around every so many fucking years. And then she had this connection with him that she had been speaking to him through the Force for 2 movies. They spend a lot of time on that connection. She doesn't I know they say that she has this connection with Leia, but you don't really see that connection. Mm-hmm. And then Leia's just popping up like, "Hey man, I'm here too, buddy."
They will fix that in the special edition. Don't worry.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe.
I think it's one of those things. Like, I understand it. I get the symbolism of it, but I don't get that emotional reaction that I think they were going for. Does that make sense? Like, I get it, I understand it, but like, it doesn't pull on my heartstrings the way I think they intended it to.
It would be like, if kind of like the Finn and Rose thing. Like, I feel like they established a relationship in 8, where in 9, if like Finn had a new girlfriend named Jonna, let's say, at the very beginning of the film, and then Jonna died, and Finn is crying at the very beginning of the film, and they're like, "Yeah, well, that's Finn's new girlfriend. He really loved her deeply." Like, yeah, okay, I'm understanding that you're telling me this, but I'm not feeling this because I haven't experienced this with these characters on screen. Is I guess what I'm getting at with the Leia thing with Rey. Like, it just seems so strange to me. It just seems like it seems a little pandering to me. Like you, Chan, love Luke and Leia. I love Luke and Leia. Everybody on this panel loves Luke and Leia because we grew up with Luke and Leia. And I feel like that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to tug on our heartstrings, but it doesn't necessarily make sense for the character in the film.
But see, I saw the connection between Rey and Leia. You know, when they hug, like female to female connection, there was like those two actresses in those situations portrayed that connection.
Well, I mean, she hugged Ray and not Chewie after Han died, right?
Yeah, which don't get me started on that.
I know.
Well, hey guys, we could go on all night, but we're not going to. That's it. Strong opinions all the way around. Hey, if you like it, you win. If you don't, well, I guess you lose. At the end of the day here. Hey, Chan, I know it was a hectic night tonight.
Yeah, but it was.
Did you manage to keep up with your clipboard action?
Got it.
Awesome. Tell us who our friends were hanging out with tonight.
All right. Tonight we had Noble Young, Nightwinginum, Rogue War, Pigment Surgery, Knight of Ren, Bot in Disguise, Mandalore, Jeremy B, Energon Addict, Josh F, Daltinians TFs, Frogman, Mark 44 Prime, Jedi Mindset, Z-Rock Prime, Pool, Joe Brick, Prime Sabbath, KJ Smith, Mervine, Gita, Sam Mead, Lowell Martins, Gort, Budanoli, PF Ferguson, EE Prime, K-Bar, J Ruse, Jedi Late for the Battle Again, oh well, Justin L, G Money, John B, Joe V, Aaron L, Calico Kid, Lucas B, Antoine Deluxe, Eddie P, Shay J, Kenny McKinnon, David L, Snoke Spinal Tap, Sportimus, Cybertron Warriors, Lucas, and Soundwave Will. I think that's everybody.
Quite a thick crew tonight. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out.
I just want to say one more thing. I'm much just so everybody understands where I'm coming from that doesn't know me. I'm much more upset that I don't love this movie than I am upset with the movie itself.
Really? You're upset that you didn't like it?
No. I'm upset that I didn't love it.
Oh. Well, I loved it for you.
You can't. I wish you could.
Sorry. I gave him a try there.
Hey, real quick, shameless self-promotion. I did a couple dioramas over the summer for Mesco. And one of them has been nominated as one of the, I guess, for the Grand Champion diorama from This Week in Dioramas on YouTube. There is a link actually in this video. If you don't mind clicking on that, week number 6 winner is the Popeye Doc there. Give me a vote. It takes 2 clicks.
I voted today.
Look out. He didn't vote for me, though. Apparently, Abandoned Toys R Us is the winner. So.
Where's your button and your cookie, Bobby, for voting?
Yeah, he gets paid late. He gets paid in PLA. He gets paid in PLA. Is what he gets paid in.
Plastic chairs.
He gets paid in plastic chairs. So,
Kiss me, I voted.
Right on. Hey, the Enter the Realm is a proud member of the Cool Table, group of shows, like-minded content featuring Enter the Realm, Shattercast Uncut, Nerd Rage Radio, Stasis Lock, building up to it, Fresh Communication, Breaking the Mold, and Verbally Challenge. You can send a Shelf Life Collection video to
Enter the Realmcast at gmail.com.
Facebook is Realm of Collectors. Instagram is at Realm of Collectors. Shout out to Antoine, steady putting in work over there. While you're on Instagram, make sure you follow the hashtag Realm of Collectors to see what the R.O.C is up to. We have a website. We pay for it. It's realmofcollectors.com. If you have any cool ideas what to do with that, please let us know. If you're listening on iTunes or any other audio format like Stitcher, Jimmy, yeah, I know you're out there. Give us a 5-star rating because that's what all the cool kids are doing. Hey, this episode of Enter the Realm is brought to you by Agabucks.com. Agabus is the official e-tailer of the Realm of Collectors. Visit Agabucks.com today for all your masterpiece and third-party needs. $5.95 flat rate shipping, free shipping on orders over $150. And Agabucks, your same as cash reward system. Visit Agabucks.com today for details. Make sure you give them a follow on Facebook and Instagram.
Thanks, Hanny.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was off the cuff.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much. This episode of Into the Realm is also brought to you by Crashbox Customs, the official Mexico supplier of the Realm of Collectors. Mention the word realm when ordering for a surprise gift.
Very tired realm.
Yeah. Been a long day, long week already. Long year, but a good year. Thanks everybody that's rode with us all year. We appreciate it for sure. Looking forward to 2020 and see what magic opportunities lie before us. Let's go around the yard and tell everybody where you at. Dust.
Yo, Dust Mites on Instagram, Eddie Dust Mites in the Facebook group.
Mr. Brink.
Brinkalizer on Instagram. Brian Brink in the Facebook groups. Have a safe New Year's Eve, everybody.
Very special guest, Bobby Skullface.
In your girls' DMs. But I just want to take a minute and say thank you for having me on. I greatly appreciate it. I do love coming on and having the conversation. Even though it gets fiery and stuff like that, to me, it's all part of it.
This humble man has a YouTube channel. Make sure you're following or subscribe to his YouTube channel. If you like Star Wars, check out Fridays, especially. Tyler.
Don't find me, I'll find you.
I like that an awful lot.
You can find me, Chandra Cooper, on Facebook, right here with these guys on Monday nights and hanging out with Shelf Gravy when I have time.
Nice.
There you go.
Hey, real quick, just want to announce there is no BTM tomorrow.
No BTM.
We'll be back next week.
All right. I'm Christopher Pinkerton on Facebook, Crashbox Customs on all your social media. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us, and we appreciate that.
He's done talking.
Good night.
Happy New Year.
Say it with me now.
Realm.